do, what it do, what it do, what it do. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey,
I would
hey,
like to welcome y'all back to the
hey,
C.D.B podcast, episode
hey,
Sir,
number 6. Episode 6, all right?
hey, let's go.
All right, all right,
six
all
six
right.
six.
No, wait. Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah, whoa,
whoa,
pause.
Supposed to be a little reverb in there. That's what's supposed to be.
man, I'm out here looking like
Nonetheless,
brother Aaron, the biblical look. You know what I'm saying? What's
I
popping,
know. I
fellas?
see
How
you
we
out there with
doing?
the Jerusalem look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I am one of your co-hosts. I
I
am
got
Chief Chris.
this is from the early days collection. You know what I'm saying? Big
Oh, you was
drip,
out there? Yeah, yeah, a little
big
drip.
oh
Jesus
yeah,
drip.
nah, that's the early Testament
Yeah,
capsule.
bro. New
I
Testament. You know
feel
what
it
I'm
though. I
saying?
feel it though. You know, you gotta
New
be original with
Testament.
it because these little youngins don't know.
Ladies and
They don't know
gentlemen,
about it.
I am your
Wait, hold on,
main
hold
man,
on, hold on, hold on,
OE.
hold on, hold on.
No, no, oh,
I was
you
introducing myself
all
first. All
right?
right,
So go ahead, sir.
Damn,
hold
Go
we
on.
ain't
ahead, sir.
even
All
we
right.
ain't
So
even get
first and foremost, all right, I am Chief Chris, 1/3 of this fucking triangle offense that we have here. Call me Chief Chris, aka the creator of chaos. You know what I'm saying?
oh
AKA Mr. I
man.
don't give a fuck how you feel. All right.
Obviously.
All right. I am
Coming.
joined by my other 2/3.
Oh, we're gonna get
Yo,
silly today. It's a
OE, go
somber
ahead.
moment, but we're gonna get silly today.
Go ahead,
Listen,
OE.
listen, live from Yonkers today. It's your boy
Mm-hmm.
main man OE, aka respectfully disrespectful. You heard?
Uh,
Always.
We have our main man A.Hun The Shogun. Tell him who you are,
Man,
sir.
you already
Let
fucking
him
know
know.
who it is. Goddamn goon, goblin, whatever. A.Hun, the number one shogun in the building. Listen here, brothers, right? Just because I know that you gentlemen love wrestling, I'm gonna take it a little bit far back. Okay?
yeah.
The cream. Listen here. Oh yeah. The cream rises. Okay,
What?
the
Talk to me,
cream
brother.
rises to the top, and there ain't nobody, no way, no how gonna beat the Macho Man. All right, but since we are all praying for our brother
Yes, sir. Yes,
DMX,
sir.
I am going to do something to bring this in a way that is going to make everybody.
Wait, hold
They
on,
need
hold on.
a
Already,
fucking rest.
already.
One more time.
Hey, that's
I'm
how I
about to
wanted to
spit at
bring
you
this
some rhymes
in.
that could get you.
But in all seriousness, love and light.
Yes.
Listen, love, light, and prayers to DMX. His transgressions have been, put on a public spotlight
Well
for most of his
documented.
career, well documented, and we need him to pull through, man. This is not the way that we don't want to see anybody go any like this. Like we
Yeah.
need him right now. We need our legends right now. We need to give our legends off their flowers, and Earl Simmons needs to pull through, man. That's just as simple as that, man. We
I
need him.
think
We need him
I
on this
think from
earth.
the standpoint too is like not just about like, hey, being a public figure is like a person, right?
Uh-huh.
Because we know and understand like what DMX has meant to all of us in different ways within music. In if you were around when DMX was DMX, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially around that time, knowing like
The
seeing him,
90s.
somebody that wasn't really what you would consider a very polished person within the industry,
Oh
right?
no,
But then
he
being
was the
able to
antithesis of a polished uh personality, an
An
artist.
unpolished,
I would say
super.
I would
I wouldn't
say
even
polished.
say polished, but in his own way though, is like
No, I
it
was saying he's the
allows for
antithesis. He's the complete opposite of a
yeah,
polished artist.
yeah. So
Okay.
then you would look at just the fact that more people probably felt comfortable to not, I wouldn't say just be in the music industry, right? That weren't polished or anything like that, but just any industry in particular, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's the reason why I like having both of you guys on to almost like bring counterbalance to me. Like I don't sound to most people, if they were listening to this just on virtual, they'd be like, who the fuck is the white guy? Oh, right?
Ladies and
But
gentlemen, A.Hun is 100% black, blackity, black, black, black. Listen, that man,
super
as
black.
you can see,
But
he has on the New Testament
man,
garb on.
man, if
He
y'all
got he
can't
probably
see
got
it,
the
bro,
Jesus Walks 13s on his
hey,
feet.
if y'all can't see it, I'm just trying to keep up with these pastors out here that got all this drip on, right?
Yes,
On
I think
Instagram.
that.
And then yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm just trying to keep the flex on, but this is something you would find, you know, not at like a local vendor shop or
Nah,
also
this
your local music
exclusive.
festival. You know what I'm saying? This is a,
The
you know,
wealth.
little pashmina. This ain't nothing.
Pashmina, you know,
You know, this ain't nothing, but
little,
still a
little. It's
little drip. Just
anointed
got,
by the you know the
you know,
finest
Yo, though,
hands of
but
I put a
Jerusalem
couple sprinkles
confined.
of holy water on it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's
Bathed in
cool.
the
But hold on one second, bro. Not to shit on your drip, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
But no,
let's
seriously,
just get back to the
the
DMX
whole
topic, you know what I'm
point
saying?
here,
Because
which we went super hard off rail, right? Is
yeah,
just
exactly. Yeah, I want to.
DMX. And the thing
No, we
about
was gonna get
DMX,
back to that because I
yeah,
just
it is a very tough subject because I think it's multi-layered. It's not just about DMX as a person, it's being able to allow individuals that you know that they are battling with something. It might be substance abuse or
1000%.
any type of addiction in any way, shape, or form,
Mm-hmm.
but you hope that they move past that. Not
Mm-hmm.
only that, people think that, you know, going or becoming famous, right? Because a lot of people think that with fame brings fortune and all the other
Mhm.
stuff. Like all the issues that I have aren't an issue if I'm famous.
Correct.
Well, no, you just
that's when
have a
more issues
different set of
introduce themselves.
issues, and you may not be ready for those. But in hardship and all this other stuff, yeah, of course. Um, you know, I don't think people talk enough about like DMX and the rise that he had and how big he was and what all the things that came with it, right?
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
there's a lot of things, especially in and not even just like DMX. There's other people that you look at Amy Winehouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you look
Love
at
and light to her family as well.
yeah, you look at, and not just even in music, you have different people like Robert Downey Jr. was just one of the lucky ones. If you saw the family that he came from and then seeing him rise in stardom at a young age and then like hard fall off, right? But then being able to bring it back and then, you
Correct.
know, change it a different way. Same
But
thing.
see, all right, see
Yeah.
the difference between Robert Downey Jr., you know what I'm saying, and back to my brother DMX, you know what I'm saying, is that maybe they both have come from different backgrounds, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and different upbringings, you know what I'm saying. But the thing about DMX, what what a lot of his like maybe new fans or whatever, like all his day one fans known that DMX has struggled with this from the
Mhm.
get. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? This wasn't something that he got Hollywood and then this became like a part of his like lifestyle, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
no,
That
he
this
was
is
transparent from the beginning.
like
It's
Right.
just the Hollywood, the fame, all of the fortune
the more
that just
money you have, the more
amplified
drugs
it
you
for
have.
1,000.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
where you had to
Yeah.
go and think about, you know, where am I going to get my next fix? Where am I going to get my next hit?
See, my thing
No,
about
now I
that,
can just call somebody and listen. I need all of it here now. I need all
yeah,
of it here
and
now.
because of my name,
You're gonna get it to me,
yeah.
and it's gonna
And
get here
see,
as soon as possible.
and see the
Shit.
thing about that is that I feel like is that like we've all like we all in our 30s, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
we was there from the 98, 99, 2000 eras when DMX
Mm-hmm.
took over the streets, you know what I'm saying? And not only
Crazy.
took over the streets, but like he took over the music industry, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Like he was a core his core following was not only just street, but it was something also for it was mainstream, you know what I'm saying?
bro.
It was presented
I'll
to
tell
them
you
to where
from an
it
Ohio
was
standpoint,
popular.
I would tell you from an Ohio standpoint, there were a lot of white, black, you know what I'm saying, kids,
Yeah,
Hispanic
everybody.
kids that were all
Hmm.
listening to DMX. So it didn't matter.
Especially
Everybody
Rough
was
Riders, you
listening.
know what
I
I'm saying?
can tell you from
Oh
a
yeah.
Brooklyn
He
standpoint.
was
From a
the
Brooklyn
start of he was the
standpoint,
start of an
yeah.
actual clique. Like he was the start of actual and then like we both said, like we all three of us are saying, like he went from one point of just being a MC who was transparent, you know what I'm saying, to being an MC who was also vulnerable, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
and he submitted to his demons, you know what I'm saying. Like sometimes, like when you come and you try to talk about everything, you try to change the light and everything, and try to put this front on for people like, no, I'm doing better, like I'm good, whatever, whatever. But in the same sense, like you're really not.
Right.
DMX never tried to front in the beginning of his career like he was doing better than he ever was before. You know what I'm saying? He just had more money and more drugs because you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, so like DMX has always been transparent in his light and who he is. And I feel like I remember earlier today, like I was listening to Slippin', you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
One of DMX's most famous tracks, especially for anybody out there who's ever battled from drug addiction or any kind of downbreaking point, in their life where they felt like they were just slipping and their life was just in the clutch of like being crumbled, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was listening to that song earlier and like I really felt it because I felt like, you know what? Like for this man to come out of prison, then go into rehab, he checked himself into rehab, you know what I'm saying, the last year and a half, because he felt like he was going to go ahead and get back on that monkey, you know what I mean? Or let that monkey get back on him, so to speak, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he checked himself in because he's like, you know what? Nah, that's not the way for me, you know what I mean? And then for him now to be admitted in a hospital and whatever the circumstances is right now, like I've heard a lot of different speculations on his condition and everything. I won't speak any of that into light because I don't want it to come to light, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just gonna keep on praying that he's good and he's safe, you know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
that's just it, like DMX he's been a pillar not only in hip hop, but he's also been a pillar in like a lot of African American, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, backgrounds, because we 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 we've had these drugs in our community, you know what I'm saying, for so long, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
and some of us have chose to indulge into these drugs, you know what I'm saying, and
Absolutely.
like to be able to come out of that light and still be able to be somebody special like what X is, you know what I'm saying, like it's different. It hits different. It hits home. You know what I mean? For me, like it just hits home for me. That's just all I can say,
Right.
really.
Well,
Um.
my
Yeah.
in
Go
my
ahead, bro.
opinion, it's not even as far as it's as far as his notoriety or his fame. It's just a lot of people go through a lot of things, and it's him, especially him being so open and transparent with his transgressions. They
Mm-hmm.
speak to a lot of us in the community. Like we
Yeah.
have that, we have a parent, we have a cousin, we have an uncle that
Or,
that has gone through those
or
same
we
trials and
have been that
tribulations,
person either.
or we have been that person. But his journey, the way that has been documented, is just it's a cautionary tale, and it lets people know that even through everything that you're going through, there's still a light at the end of the tunnel.
1,000%.
And addiction is something that's very real. Like I'm an addict. I'm pretty sure we all have our vices or
Mhm.
things that we enjoy to the point where I can't get enough of it, which that turns into an addiction.
Right.
Correct.
For me is nicotine, cigarettes.
Mhm.
That's I've been smoking since I was 18, but and so maybe Chris or A.Hun, they can speak to what theirs are. For me, it's an everyday struggle. I'm trying to quit, but and the same token, him going through his transgressions, this lets me know, you can get past all of this.
Well, I think also too is having like people around him, which, bro, and I say this with all due respect and no disrespect, is that we don't know who is around him, right? But for some
Correct.
reason, this happened. So more often than not, there's a lot of speculation that comes into place where we all do say certain things that without having 100% information. So the last thing that I want to do, and I apologize if I did just that, is say like we don't know who's around him, but maybe there could have been more that's done. But again, we don't know what's happening.
No, for
At the
sure.
same time, too, you know, if you are at that state of addiction, then you will find a way, right? Doesn't matter who's
Absolutely.
around, what's going to happen. You'll find a way. So,
Well, I think you're speaking more to the yes men. There's a lot of with fame comes a lot of fakery and
right.
all types of shit like that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And
Yeah,
I,
and the
because
more money you got, the more people are gonna tell you yes. The
well,
more people are
here's,
gonna tell you you not gonna tell you you shouldn't be doing this. They're gonna say, all right, that's what you want to do. Let's do it.
yeah.
if we fast forward to where we are at right now, I think that the thing that set a lot of this possibly in motion with DMX and having to go into rehab after he got was going into the judicial system, right?
Absolutely.
Being in the system. And from the standpoint of what we've seen with most people of color through the system is that it's criminal. Whereas with the opioid epidemic, which I've said this multiple times, like even in just on personal pages on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, um, it's treating as an illness. So there's a difference when like it's looked in the public eye, it's addressed. There are certain situations, and depending upon like where your social status is at that point in time, be it where you start off or where you end up to where you teeter a little bit, or maybe fall off the wagon, so to speak. But then it's a matter of like, okay, we need to make sure that this person who we know can deliver something great, and it's not just like for my benefit to make, like I want to make sure that this person does well, so then it comes back and pays dividends. It's not equal. It's not equal. It doesn't allow for people that look like us to have to go through the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or something bad has to be done, or we're just mistreated in a way that like you can recognize what some type of addiction is. You can recognize what some type of mannerisms are that are leading a person down a path that looks destructive. But in a
So
sense,
now,
you know what
I'm
I'm
sorry to cut
saying?
you off, bro, but quick question. So now you saying that you could recognize somebody for their addictions, saying, or at least you should be able to recognize your friends, right? You're
Hmm.
speaking more or less on your friends, right?
Yeah, people that are
So now
close to you.
close to you, right? So
Yeah.
now, if you, let's say for instance, right, you have a friend that who chooses to indulge in these type of drugs or
Right.
alcohol or anything, saying, and no matter how much you try to get that, and one thing we're not gonna do is just highlight completely about DMX is just his drug addiction, because we definitely
Right.
gonna celebrate
Absolutely
it. You know what I'm
not.
saying?
Like, because there's
But
a
getting back
lot
to what
more
I
to
was
his
saying is
legacy.
that, but getting back to what I was saying is that what if it comes to the point where it's like your friends are not really like the ones that you really should be seeking? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if your core friends are actually the ones that tell you like, yo, chill, you know what I'm saying? You should be doing that. But yet then they like when you pop the bottle, you know what I'm saying, knowing that liquor or alcohol is your addiction, you know what I'm saying? They right there like, fuck it. You did it, we already did,
Right.
you know what
They're
I'm saying?
there
Like,
with, yeah,
like
That's
absolutely.
what I
it
call
comes
yes
to,
men, though. I call
Yeah,
them
I
yes
think
men.
I think
They're
that I agree.
enablers. They're
because
enabling
it,
Yeah.
him
yeah,
to do
because
these things.
exactly enabling him, because I feel like what it is that like once again, I'm not speaking, none of us are speaking on like the crowd that he keeps around him, the friends that he keeps in his crowd, you know
No,
what
to
I'm saying,
be clear,
circle.
ladies and gentlemen, this is all our opinion. It's all
Yes.
opinion based.
And because you know what it is,
Yeah.
because it's like I felt like because he came back so strong and diligent on his like sobriety, you know what I'm saying, like I felt like like and it's also another thing that you guys were saying, oh, you said about giving him his flowers, you know what I'm saying? And me and my girl was talking earlier today, and she was like, I'm so glad, like, before we found out that he's all right now, and thank God, thank the higher most, you know what I'm saying? But before that, she was saying that, I'm so glad that we at least got that versus last year with DMX and Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? And got to and brought a lot of people from who's not from that era, who was brand new, fresh to this catalog, you know what I'm saying, of DMX and Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like DMX, like, he's just an icon, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's more than just a rapper who struggled from drug addiction, you know what I'm saying? Like, he really was the voice of the streets, you know what I'm saying, for a long time, And I just feel like when you have somebody who's trying to be diligent on their fucking sobriety, the crowd of people that he keeps around him, it really matters the most. And
Right.
I feel like, like somebody should have been there last night, whether he was alone or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody should
At
have
the
been
same
there.
token, my opinion is this man has influence, he has power, he has money. Whatever he wants to do, there's only a certain amount of people that'll tell him no. There's
Mm.
only a certain amount of people that'll and maybe those people weren't in the picture at this moment. And
Mm-hmm.
addiction is tough.
It's
Addiction is
so
tough.
hard. It's so
It's
hard.
hard. When
It
one day
really
you can
is.
say, fuck it, I'm going to quit.
It
And quit
really
right
is.
there. And then you get one little trigger, one little negative interaction will put you, all right, man, fuck it. I gotta go smoke me a cigarette. I gotta go do this. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
I need a drink right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit this weed, and it's like that. It's drugs in and of themselves
Right.
change your world perspective, change the all of the internal psychological mechanisms that you have to associate with not doing something negative.
You
It
know what it is though, sometimes, bro? Like, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw myself in this box real quick, you know what I'm saying, about you saying about people who struggle through addiction, you know what I'm saying? Because I will fully admit that we're in 2021, right? Around 2017, 2016, 2018, around that those 3 year span, even going into 2019, like, I went through a really, really depressing state at that point, you know what I'm saying? And like, I was like I've already said it on numerous occasions, like the type of drugs I've done, you know what I'm saying? But at this point, you know what I'm saying, like at that point I was involved heavily with coke and with pills, you know what I'm saying? And during that stint, like, even sometimes having positive people around me, it didn't matter because I did have that one person who would be like, yo, let's do it, you know what I mean? And then it fed me because it made me feel good, you know what I'm saying? Like, because not because of that person or what they were saying to me, but the drugs itself, you know what I'm saying? Like, it made me feel good, And sometimes, like, that shit is so hard to fight, bro. Like, I've never had an addiction.
absolutely
I've never had an addiction to cocaine, you know what I'm saying? I will never ever say that because that's the honest truth, you know what I'm saying? But I had a heavy addiction to pills, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've done coke, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But what I'm saying is that my
now
downfall, I won't,
you're just speaking your
no,
truth, bro.
you know what I mean? And then, like, but pills, like, was really like E and Molly's and all that. That was really my shit at one point, like even before those points. So at that point, when I was really going through this depressing stage, it was something for me to fall back on, you know what I'm saying? Something to make me feel better, you know what I mean? So, um, like, like, it's hard. It really, 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 truly is hard. And that's why I'm glad that we're talking about addiction right now, because at least for somebody from my perspective, you know what I'm saying, from my background, I always said that, you know what I'm saying, maybe if I would have had like one or two more people in my corner who would have been trying to push me to that right light, you know what I mean? Like, and not people who was getting high with me, then it would
Hmm.
have been different.
You had a bunch of enablers around you instead of
Yeah, well,
having somebody
that's always
that's
going to be the case.
trying
So
to
it
help
took
you.
something to do a hard reset to get you out of that state of where you were
It
to
took
where
me
you
finding
are now,
happiness.
right? It so and you find it in different places. So
without being high though. It
yeah,
took me to
yeah,
find
yeah.
happiness because I was happy at that point, but it took me to find happiness without being high.
Well, there's a difference between temporary and you know, something of length, like anything of length. There's an immeasurable amount. Whereas when you are doing things that, you know, come from an addictive state of mind or mechanism, then that is temporary and it's very fleeting. People use it. It's another word for it is escapism in some realms, but you know, the question, and sometimes I may ask this where they're like, it's a sickness. Well, what is the sickness? That's always my question. What is the sickness?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that person is suffering from that particular thing, and like it's trying to define what that is. So then when you have someone that's in that state of mind, or they are whatever, and again, this is kind of going a lot further away from just talking about DMX, even though the news of what happened had
Oh
happened.
yeah, because I feel
Right.
like one of the things that we should touch on this DMS topic is also drug addiction. But go
Yeah,
ahead, continue.
absolutely. And you know, a
Well,
lot of stuff.
that's what we've been touching on now. I think
Yeah,
that's
and a
Yeah.
lot of this is coming from just the fact that, like, again, my personal opinion is just I don't think him going the route that he went through from a person of his stature, obviously, it's like, hey, you can do more good here if we get you in a place to where we can get help for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
we also have to
Versus
think about whether he wants help.
no. I'm saying back when, like back in the day, bro, like whatever
Yeah.
made him end
Okay,
up
yeah.
in prison, or jail or the system to where it was continuously friction, whatever. It's
I'm glad
like,
that you brought that up. So
you know
quick
what I'm
question
saying?
though. Quick question. Do you feel like if you have a longer stint in like having a drug addiction, it's harder to break that person out of the habit as
Yeah,
opposed to like
absolutely.
somebody like let's say for instance, like today you just started smoking weed or whatever you did, you know, and you're able to break that habit, especially being around a positive background. I mean, I'm circle, you know, saying, and then people was like, nah, don't do that, you know, saying trying to uplift you in some way. Do you feel like having a certain amount of years being addicted to a drug, it's harder at that point as opposed to someone who's just fresh to it?
Well, I've never and will never proclaim that marijuana is an addictive drug, right?
Oh no.
No.
There's certain chemicals that
Mary
are in
Jane
it
is Mary Jane.
that, right.
And
It's
I'm glad you brought that up because as you all
It's
could see
from the
today, I
earth,
am going
and
right.
it was put
absolutely,
here
I'm
on
going
the earth for us to smoke it.
there you go. But I'm glad you brought this up because I am actually going today absolutely the whole entire podcast without smoking. As you guys have already known throughout the last 5 episodes of watching us, I'm not smoking no weed on camera and I'm not drinking anything today because like I want to make sure that this is actually something that we can like talk about and not be hypocritical on, you know what I mean? So yes.
It's all good. Don't tell them. It's all good, bro. We appreciate it though.
No, I'm just letting the
Because a
fans
lot
know.
of
I'm
time, I
not
mean,
telling y'all
some people
niggas.
might
Fuck
pay attention
y'all.
to it.
Some people might pay
Uh,
attention, but to get back to this,
yeah.
let's circle back to just DMX. Love
Well,
and light to him, and
biggest
we
thing is,
keep
yeah,
him
prayers
in
up,
our
bro.
prayers.
Prayers
Mhm.
up.
Um,
We hope that, you know, he is able to make a recovery. I think there's a lot more that he has to accomplish, or I'm sure that he wants to accomplish and
yeah,
get out of life. And I think too, you know, a lot of people should, when we see stuff like this, yes, it should be impactful to a point where like we all are like,
I
oh,
hope
we
not.
look at mortality and an important and like,
Hmm.
hey, oh, you're there. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of people like they forget about it until like something jolts them in a way like, oh,
Army.
hmm
right,
we
oh, that person died, dang, like, oh, so I can get up out of here too at any
Yeah.
point in time, right?
Yeah.
So that I think is in and of itself coming into a further amount of play. DMX obviously huge cultural icon, a lot of things that we all know about, but at the same time too, addiction. And for me, asking the question of why is there a difference within like how addiction was treated with certain groups of people
hmm
Hmm.
versus how we know it is treated with another group,
a
right?
community, in our community.
Well, in our community, bro, we can go all the way back to like, Contra and the CIA pushing drugs into
Oh yeah, of course,
the black
exactly.
community.
Listen,
That's what I'm
for
saying. Like
further reading, ladies and gentlemen, just watch Snowfall.
Nah, I mean, bro, no, just watch like Cocaine Cowboys documentaries,
That as well.
whatever you need to look at and actually look at history within the context. What is the ripple effect? Yeah, of course, something can happen, right? Like anybody knows about 9/11.
of
And
course.
if you look at that and see what the effect of it was on that day, what that looked like, and then see the ripple effect that has come into play with like the way that travel now happens, right? Or
Okay.
all of these things. There's so many different instances, and I know for you that's a different thing altogether, both of you being from New York. So um there there's moments where something happens and it jolts you, and then like, oh, the ripple effect. We understand what the ripple effect is. This can happen for decades upon decades. So when you look at
It's been happening.
drugs coming into our community and breaking up the nuclear family of people of color, and
Not even just breaking up the family,
It
because it
breaks up
breaks
the
it up.
social fabric of our community.
And then you've got kids that are going into the system, that stay in the system, that now become a part
I
of the
was gonna
system,
say,
and then that's a ripple
it takes
effect.
over them. It takes over the young community. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
it gives them this light of fast money.
But then fast forward, if you look at the average medium household of African American family, is tens of times lower than that of their white American counterparts, if you're looking at, again, median income.
Yeah.
So that has something to play into it too. So there's different things that just start to drop craters into it. How this gets to DMX is just from the standpoint of like, maybe this is culturally brought into it. We don't really talk about his family or his upbringing. Maybe this has a lot to do with that, being in where he may have come from, which, if I'm not mistaken, is New York. But
Yonkers. Yep.
Yonkers,
Yeah.
New York.
Yo.
Well, in the Rough Riders documentary that I saw a couple months back, he touches on certain topics, just as you said, about his family and how he was tricked into using drugs.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I seen an
things
episode where he with his man's, like,
he
you know what I'm
spoke
saying,
about the person that tricked him
into
and told
smoking
him this
crack.
was weed, and he said, no, that's crack cocaine.
That's a fact. I seen, and I remember the matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, was that not the Tyler Quali podcast?
No, that
because
was
in the
that was
Tyler Quali
actually
podcast,
the Rough Riders documentary.
Okay,
Which
well,
I'm
I
sure he
seen the
probably
Tyler
said.
Quali podcast also, where he had spoke about this.
Yes, he
and
spoke about
he spoke about like how his, and like it even brought him to tears about how his man's, saying,
a person that he considered his friend, one of his
trusted
best
and all
friends.
that, you know what I'm saying, and like, and it,
Did
and,
that to
and it only takes that one time, you know what I'm saying, to be
Right.
addicted to it, and your body is not accustomed to these circumstances, you know what I'm saying, or being
the
this hot.
biological chemistry in your brain changes forever.
Right.
Now it changes to where, oh, I can enjoy this, calmly, and I can stop when I want to. No, it makes it to where,
and that's the thing. That's the thing too, where I think there's a misconception with like, recreational marijuana usage versus other drugs that come into play. And I think that a lot of people get into a state where like trying to think because working in Department of Corrections, man, like you get a chance to work alongside a lot of different people that are working in different fields of rehabilitation. So me having a background within athletics, going to school for
I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead.
Right. So it becomes a lot different, because then there are other people to be successful in actually getting the goal, which from the Department of Correction standpoint is rehabilitation and reduction in recidivism, which means that they do not repeat offend, even though what we know that the makeup of the system of, the criminal justice, right?
Yep. The prison industrial complex.
Bro,
if people don't
they make
reoffend, we make no money if they don't reoffend.
Right. So it's incorrect in how it's set up in its process, which is why I had that, that thought that said, bro, if he wouldn't have gone through the system the way that he was pushed through the system, and then having to spend years possibly living with an addiction, only finding solace in how do I maintain myself or just get through the time, right?
I think the way he maintained and controlled himself and kind of felt like therapeutic was through music and through telling his story, you know what I'm saying? And through
Right.
telling his like I said, his story. Like you got some people who choose to indulge in these drugs, you know what I'm saying? But they're not transparent, you know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
No.
you know what I'm saying? And then you got some people who may say, yeah, I do this shit, and they really don't do this shit, you know what I mean? Like, y'all
And then
niggas
you have
ain't
some
really
people to be like, yes, I do this, but this doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do, which is
No.
all itself
Yeah.
in a lie. That's
Yeah,
all a
because
lie.
at the end of the day, even though he's probably doing music, then what is it? What happens? He's very open and honest about his addictions with drug use, so
I
on and
think
so
the more
forth.
famous
And
and
then
more money he makes, it just makes it worse.
and then more yes men and people who have all
Yeah.
those vices and
Yeah.
things that he
Yeah.
probably doesn't want to indulge
Or
in
doesn't
because he knows
need,
he's
not
going to
want, but
fall.
doesn't need it.
Right. So they're just
Mhm.
there to be around for
Mhm.
whatever reason. And that it's such is life. There are people that, if we are successful in doing what we are doing, at
Mhm.
least from my mentality, it is to try and formulate something that we can bring other people into it. We can empower other people
Of
to
course.
Absolutely.
grow this thing in what it is. Yes, does this look, small? But like if you see the growth that we've had from episode 1 until now, it's
Yeah.
so much different. So I can only think about like, oh man, there's a bunch of people that I would want to bring in and be inclusive in all of these things, but I just know that like this is not for everybody. Everybody is not for
Absolutely
this,
not.
right?
Listen, to quote the great Nipsey Hussle, everybody can't go. Everybody can't go.
At all.
Everybody can't go. But
R.I.P.
to
in
put
it.
a bow on this topic,
this.
like I said, we need him. We just need him in the culture. We do right now.
Wait, before we put a
he's
bow,
there.
before you put a bow on this topic, real quick, I just got one more question, you
Shoot
guys.
it.
DMX, all right?
Shoot it.
What is your favorite DMX track of all time or album? Give me your favorite album from DMX.
For me, is a track. I
Okay.
mean, As Dark as Hell is Hot is one of his
Classics,
classics.
of course.
But for me, how's it going down? It shows you that. It's crazy.
I was out there getting the pussy. That's what you do.
Of course. But it shows you a different side of him, and you can make a singy, songy R&B track and still have your own sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
Be a hood nigga and still make it your own.
Mm-hmm. That's
like,
a fact.
That was great. That showed his range.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still talking to Shorty. I'm like, listen, yo, he's been some shit all in her ear, and she was with it. And then he brought it back to the hood. Yo, take this up to 150.
You know what I'm saying?
Come
back.
Pack.
Maybe you can split that.
Yep,
Get that,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
But what
that
about
was
you,
one of my
A.Hun?
favorite tracks.
What's my name, bro?
What's my name?
He loves that energy, huh?
Yeah,
that
bro.
Energy that's insatiable right there.
That song was on repeat every single day in high school. Like I played soccer, and it's like the association with that song to like a very
made you want to drop kick a goalkeeper.
Oh, bro, I was ready to fight everybody on a soccer field. I was so aggressive. I
He's
was
about to
ready.
super kick the
Like
goalkeeper.
I wanted ankles, I wanted spines, shins, any of that,
As
bro.
Shit,
And I
y'all
was
talking
a
about
hype up
ankles and
song.
spines and like my
and I was
knee.
kicking a hole through your stomach, bro. Like if you got hit by me kicking the ball, I didn't care. It was like it's going in that direction. I might take you and whatever else with it, but it's going that
Absolutely.
way.
But that
So,
was your anthem.
man, that was it. What's my name? I was ready to just crank everybody's face. Man, listen,
You know what's crazy?
DMX.
Because that's it, because your track is on the same album as the track of that. It's my favorite. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm
And it's
telling
off
you,
that. And then there was X. You know what I'm saying? And my favorite track from DMX, like, well, one of my favorite tracks. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't really like.
No. You gotta give us
Besides,
the favorite
but
track.
no. Besides the
When you
cultural
think of
ones, you know what I'm saying?
DMX,
nah,
what is the
nigga, I
first
need you
track
to
that comes?
pick.
That's the
Slipping.
first thing that comes to your
Slipping is the
mind.
first thing that I think of, but really
And
one of
I
my
kind of knew that you were going.
but really one of my favorite songs from DMX is Here We Go Again. Same old shit, dog, just a different day. Here we go again. You know how niggas do when we play, how we play. Here we go again.
He's giving us a little mini concert.
Like, yo,
Right,
listen,
you know,
Listen,
like,
that man has
everybody,
too many hits, and I personally think going back to the DMX versus
bro,
Snoop Dogg,
niggas say,
DMX
click,
went,
it's gotta
yeah.
be a bullet in one of them.
First off,
Yo.
DMX had like the craziest run. Like during his time,
man.
it was
he's
insane.
in the
Like
history books.
It was
First
man.
hip hop artist to drop 2 number ones in the same year.
crazy.
Bro,
Like
like
that
Like
was wild.
nonstop.
And he
he's an
had
icon. He is
had
icon.
He's a
like
legend.
so much heat. He had so much heat.
And the fact that he came from that point where he was like, there was supposed to be the Murder Inc. click between him, Ja Rule, and Jay, right? So now you go your separate, Jay go to separate, Ja go to separate, you know what I'm saying? And all three of y'all all flourish together. You know what I'm saying? Like they never showed like as much as people hold Hove and his, you know what I'm saying, in high regards as being the businessman and being an MC and everything like that. DMX, if you really want to go on a lyrical standpoint, and like DMX is held, he should be held just as high as Jay-Z. The only thing that fucked up DMX is just him getting caught up with the law and everything like that, and him taking so many years off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
But
it's longevity and all the stuff that came about
yeah,
it.
like DMX is just as big as an icon and a legend as there is Jay-Z or Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like DMX is in my top 10. You know, he's not in my top 5, but he's in my top 10. You know what I'm saying?
All
Of all
right.
time.
And you bring up a good segue because I've wanted to know this. And right, we've been, yeah. So there was this thing that we did a couple weeks ago that we never actually did it, right? And we never actually answered the question. So the question was, at least for my end, who would be on your Mount Rushmore? And you have 5 spots in regards to your hip hop Mount Rushmore. Now, for me,
wait, one thing.
Go ahead.
One thing. Let me put my bow on that DMX topic real quick.
Yes, please.
Love and light to him. We love you, X. We need you to go through.
Absolutely.
1000%.
The game needs you out here. At this
1000%.
right now would be the perfect time for him to drop an album.
I don't want an album. I hate it.
The first thing that we need.
I want him to be healthy, happy, safe.
That's what we need.
It. I need him to start there.
I want an album because he already said on Nori's Drink Champs that he has an album coming out.
He said he was coming with an album.
Yo,
so
it's already done.
No,
so
no,
I'm
I agree with you, A.Hun. The first thing that we need is you to have good health, longevity, and we here at the C.D.B podcast, we love you,
right?
And
for sure,
we're praying for you.
Yeah, because I think that it wouldn't be fair to him if he didn't just get to be happy, healthy, and then
do some
goes
music.
back into the rat race of all. Hey, you gotta, bro, just chill out, man. You're one of the greats.
You have nothing else left to prove. To be
Not
honest
really, bro.
But musically, no.
Musically,
but
he has
to
nothing left
live.
to prove.
But to live.
Dropped 2 number 1s in a year. fam.
That's
That's
all.
it.
That's all that the X has to prove to me. Like this guy said, like he doesn't have anything to prove musically. You know what I'm saying? He's always gonna be considered a juggernaut. He's gonna be considered an icon. You know what I'm saying? Considered a legend. Just stay healthy. That's all I
Yeah.
care about.
Now I will say, if he was coming up, if like DMX, if or let me say, if technology was at the point of where it is right now during the time of when
Mm,
DMX
mm.
came out,
Oh no, he'd be a megastar. He'd be out of here, like
yeah,
out of here, out of here.
No,
yeah,
honestly, he's not really a megastar, but he's on the cusp of being a megastar.
yo,
No, he
is
was a
it?
megastar. He was up there.
That's what I'm saying.
He was he
I
had
seen this
a
video on
good stretch
Twitter,
and
like when
run.
they showed somebody seen they showed like a concert event, and I don't know where the location was at, but
That
just
was in the what was it? Either the
it was
UK,
overseas, yeah.
I
it was
think I was
Like
talking
overseas.
about that
and
where
and my thing is
mad
that like
people,
did you see that
250,000 people or something.
crowd?
It was
mad
just a
people,
sea of people.
bro.
Like he stops, shut him down, got him like, and then you just hear the crowd erupting.
Yeah,
That's a rough riders. You
but
know
to
what I mean?
put that bow on that, like I said, Love and Light.
Yes.
Nigga,
Now,
it's
You can
like
see
three
behind me,
bows
we
on.
got the
It's
top
like three
5.
bows on DMX, my guy.
Yes,
But
Yeah,
I
no,
understand.
listen, because we love
but
DMX. You know what I'm
I
saying?
I
understand.
know.
Fuck how any of y'all niggas feel about this, you know what I'm saying? Like this, I'm giving my guy his flowers. Like,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? And we're all giving him his flowers, you know what I'm saying? And we're praying for him. So
I'm on this
Prayers-
podcast with two
prayers
New
up.
York niggas. So what you expect, bro?
no, I'm not talking about you, bro. I'm
No,
talking
I'm
about,
not. No. I'm just letting
I'm
people
trying
know.
to move this along.
No,
'Cause,
I'm just letting the
you
people
heard?
know. It's just hilarious.
I'm just
And
trying to move it along.
I appreciate your like what DMX is to y'all because again, it's getting to know someone else through their experiences with that person or maybe that music, and getting a better understanding of who people are. So
I
that's
agree.
why I do agree and enjoy different music, but then getting to hear others' insight on that particular music or what happened to them
Or just
where
artists, you know?
you know what I'm saying? So this
Yeah.
is kind of why I'm geeked out about hearing this list, right? So if we're talking about lists, and I know there were two others, but for me, I want to know who's on the Mount Rushmore of
The top 5.
All
Yeah.
right. So now I'll save my list last because I already have my list. Unless you guys have your list ready to roll, then I can go ahead and get mine.
Listen, I can do it right now.
All right, so let's hear yours, O.
So all right. So the first one, hold on, because I did a little presentation. So
oh, this cue cards, bro. He got
Give me 1 second if y'all don't
Let's see.
mind.
Of course, you already know it's gonna be
oh,
Jay-Z.
extra credit head ass.
It's always gonna be Jay-Z.
Listen. Y'all can say whatever the fuck y'all want.
I
At
did
this
extra.
moment, y'all gonna give me the floor. You heard?
All right, go ahead, King.
Y'all gonna
Talk
give me
your
the
shit.
floor. So, we all know who this person is. We know. It might not be who you think. But the first one is the man right here. He's number 1 at all time for me. The Notorious B.I.G.
I got something to rebuttal that, but I'm gonna let you
I
get
know
you.
y'all gonna give me a lot of flack.
Bro, you ain't even let him get to number 2 yet. You was already
listen.
rebuttal.
No, listen.
Go ahead, King.
The second one is one of Brooklyn's finest. Let me just pull this up. So
hey, just name him, bro. You
no. The people gotta see him. They gotta see him.
You ain't even upload. You ain't even upload the pictures like I told you.
Nah, listen. I know. Listen, it happens. It happens.
I told you your trigger finger is trash, bro. But it's all right.
I know. But of course, you see him right behind me. Camel face himself.
Yeah.
So this is Biggie and Jay are 1A and 1B. You can put them wherever you want.
I'm not mad at that.
Put Biggie at number 1 and Jay at number 2, or Jay at number 1 and Biggie at number 2. See?
Sorry, I sneezed.
That's that Bronx COVID sneeze.
Yeah, man, it's
Niggas
crazy.
start
He
talking
caught
crazy.
it all the way in Colorado. That's wild.
Yes, they did.
But no, I feel you though. I'm not mad at those. I'm mad at Biggie #1, but I'll tell you later.
Why? Why would you?
No, get your shit off. Tell me your other 3.
Okay,
I'm gonna tell you, a quick story. I'm gonna tell you why.
Nigga, let
Do you
him
not
get-
do you not feel like do you not feel
Jesus
like
Christ,
do you
my
not feel
guy.
like do you not feel like Biggie only had 2, right?
I don't care if he had one
Bro,
word.
do you not feel like another MC has come along?
You are stepping on my stuff right now, and let me.
I'm sorry, King. I'm sorry,
Let me
King.
continue. Number
Giddy.
three. Excuse me. Listen, don't mind him right now. He's biased. Number 3 is, the gentleman right behind me. The chef.
The chef.
Raekwon.
Cook it up.
Of course. Listen. Woo 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 woo. So let's get to number 4 because I know he's really gonna say something about this one.
Oh, he's gonna be sick.
Yeah, he's gonna be sick about this one. There's a white man in this.
I knew it. You see him throwing up.
There's a white man in this top 5.
I already know who it is.
I know a lot of hate's gonna come my way.
Man, I feel that.
So that's why I did my little,
Bro,
my little presentation.
Is your computer starting to get hot?
Oh yeah, I feel his fire all the way over
bro,
here.
sizzling right now.
So
nah,
this guy
I
right
would
here.
take any of those other 3, but this nigga.
This guy right here, save your hate for another time. This guy right here makes people so angry because he's so good.
Yo, Chief Chris.
Look. His face is turning all types of shades.
Yo, he hates this man with so much.
He hates him with such. He has such vitriol.
He cannot stand
for this man.
He won't even say. He won't even say his whole name.
It's fine.
He won't even say his whole name.
That's your king.
Listen, he's number. Wait, first of all, he's number 4, so that's not the king. So, but
I know. I didn't like to say anytime.
Listen, I appreciate his lyricism.
Top 20. When you put his name in top 20, like I have an argument.
Listen,
I can rebuttal with top 20
if you want, listen, we've had this conversation a long time ago in front of a lot of people.
And what happened?
And what happened?
You came with the Marshall Mathers. Wait, no. We gonna say that.
Wait. I'm still in my presentation.
Yes, I said, like, go ahead, get your shit. Go ahead, get your shit. That's what I'm saying.
Excuse me, sir. He's talking while I'm presenting.
Exactly. Please don't make me mute the mic.
Exhibit number 1. Go ahead, bro.
So okay. I'm gonna go with
so now
person.
So wait, hold on.
Number
so
5.
You have Biggie, you have Jay, you have Chef, and now you have M. That's 4.
Yes, and then I have one more person. So
all right, who's your top 5?
My number 5 is I know you. I hope you don't have nothing to say about this. I really do. I really hope he's gonna say something, but I hope not, because then he's be a hypocrite. The God himself, Rakim.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I don't hear anything coming from that camp over there.
Nobody's going to.
Nobody's going to. I hope
I'm gonna look at him crazy if
because
he says something.
It's gonna be a 6-hour podcast if he does.
Yo,
We're gonna be here for 2 days.
I'm gonna be real tight.
Letter.
I'm gonna
be 18th letter. I would never disrespect Rakim.
Okay.
The R.
There you go. So
like
that is my top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
He's in my top 5.
I was rudely interrupted for a couple of my.
I'm sorry, King.
But it's okay. Haters are gonna hate.
You had a couple of questionable. And
I had no questionables.
You have one questionable.
Listen, and
maybe I would have moved. Maybe I would have moved one person. Maybe I would have.
That is your opinion, sir. And that opinion is just your own.
And we all have one.
Does the person that you think has a questionable?
That one person that I have a problem with doesn't belong there. That's the one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tate in his purest form.
Listen,
this is Tate in human form.
Anybody that before the chief goes, right? Before the chief goes.
Go ahead.
Anybody watching this right now does not get in the comments and get on bumpers for why the chief may be wrong about the gentleman that we know as Eminem. because he
Oh,
can't
he's
stand
wrong.
him.
Wait, hold
And he
on. Now you have
feels
me
No,
like
no,
intrigued,
see,
sir. Now you have
I'm
me
gonna
intrigued.
give
Do you
you
have him
really
in your
quickly.
top 10?
Wait,
Let me
really
let me
quickly.
rub my
I'm
beard
gonna
real
give you the
quick.
story of Chris and Eminem. So, do you guys remember that the
Ah.
stand video? Do you remember
Fuck you,
the
nigga.
cold scene outside? You know, he was right there
Yo,
next
fuck
to
you,
Stan,
nigga.
and M didn't sign whatever he
Dear
wanted him
M.
to sign. And from that day forward, he was like, you know, man, fuck him. Fuck him and everything he stands for. There you go. That's
Dear
the reason.
M.
I think they were in Wichita, Kansas or some shit. And he was standing out in the cold or some shit.
Look, with the
They didn't
beat
sign
man
his shit.
talking about Dear M.
And now he's
Still
talking
wrote,
Yo,
shit.
A.Hun, you ain't shit. You brought down the pencil and all that. You ain't
Look,
shit, nigga.
you be sitting. This is Chris just sitting here killing it, talking about M.
Oh, shit.
Last
Yo,
time,
he is burning lead.
let
That mother,
look.
you see smoke out that pen. Ooh,
And
wee.
anyways,
Alright.
I digress.
Fuck
And
both
I
of you
and
guys.
I
I love you guys, yo.
man,
It's funny.
eraser,
Shogun. Let me hear
eraser
your
all
top five.
over.
yo,
What?
Let me hear your top
listen.
five.
Oh man. In no particular order, because again, I'm going more so
Okay.
Mount Rushmore.
So-
I would then go the R. Is on. So Rakim, of course, since he is already up on screen. And then I'm going to go into Doom.
Mhm.
Okay.
But Doom is not second or fourth or whatever. Doom
Mind
is
you,
just
I
Doom.
did listen to that playlist that you sent me.
Yeah,
I reverted it over to title.
mm-hmm.
Listen, I have a different life as Doom. I'm Doom.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he's
from-
actually he's really like lyrical. Like he's
Yes.
his schemes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because
yeah.
it's like Doom. It somehow is able to break the fourth wall, right? To me sometimes, and then the fact is like he'll be able to do that by rapping as MF Doom, and then in the same song jump on as King Ghidorah, right? And then you're like, why did your style and patterns change? You know what I'm saying? But then he also has produced the entire thing, and you utilize the sample in a way that you're like, bro, is this
Once again,
Fantastic Four cartoon?
I have not heard much from Doom, but you are a Doom fan, and I need you to make me a playlist.
It's already been
Matter of
sent
fact,
to you,
I'm
sir.
Yeah, he
no,
sent it
I
to the
don't
chat,
have
bro.
Apple, but I don't have Apple.
I know, and I also
Bro,
sent
just revert it
screenshots.
over like I did.
Yeah,
Nigga,
I sent screenshots too.
Yeah,
You're
like
welcome.
that's how I
Okay.
did it.
All right, so this weekend, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you my personal opinion on episode number 7.
Yeah, it's not you, or it's not me, it's you.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem.
Yeah.
No, but I like. Listen,
You
I
asked
have
for
this
something he
picture- I have this
provided.
pic- No, I have this picture behind me because I think this picture is very dope.
Doom.
I like this.
So go ahead, double A. So who's number 3? Not in any
You
particular
know what I'm
order.
saying? Rakim, MF Doom, Andre 3 Stacks, I like this style.
I don't like 3 Stacks, but go ahead.
See?
As a solo artist,
No, I think no.
so when you hear 3 Stacks, you think of Outkast.
Well, I'm talking in any realm of 3 Stacks, with Outkast, without Outkast. Yes.
You think he's better than Big Boy then?
I prefer him, but I know that their
you
styles.
think Big Boy's better than 3 Stacks?
Huh?
You think
Who
Big
said
Boy's
that?
better than 3 Stacks?
I didn't say that. I asked the question.
I was just
I asked
asking.
the question, King.
Yeah, no, I prefer.
Do I think Big Boy is whack? No, but I think he's on par with 3 Stacks.
The fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I prefer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Bro, besides Andre,
I'm on mute right now.
singing,
Bro, I'm
besides
so sorry.
Andre's
I'm so
singing-
sorry, A.Hun. A.Hun, I am so sorry.
To be honest,
so-
I
I'm
actually,
so sorry.
I'm not going to sit here and argue on the point because it might be a valid point. If it's articulated in a way that like it brings it, I'm not saying that it is or isn't, bro. Like again, music
He has
is
one of the most
subjective,
anticipated solo albums ever.
yeah,
like,
music
his solo-
is subjective. Look, see, almost
I take his bullshit.
blasphemy. Bro. No, I'm just
Sorry,
saying
I'm
like
not rolling. I'm not
Yeah.
rolling.
I'm sorry.
I can't
I'm
roll.
sorry.
I
I'm
can't
sorry.
roll.
I'm sorry. I don't shit on both of you guys, and now I expect the same energy when
Listen,
I hit
I'm not rolling. I'm sorry.
no,
I
it's
just
all
can't.
right.
I cannot roll with that take.
What's it?
I understand it.
One more
that-
time.
That
What
Andre
Chris? What the chief
and-
said?
Yes, that 3 Stacks and Big Boy are on the same level lyrically. I can't take that. I can't.
I will neither confirm nor deny that
I can't
statement.
take that. I'm sorry. You are my brother. I love you. You are my brother from another mother, and I love you. But that was some bullshit. I need
Fuck
when
you.
when we get some drops, that's the first thing we're gonna do. That is some bullshit.
Yeah,
You
man,
hear
I
that?
got you.
Background.
I got you. Might have
That's
to
a
mix that
4.
up.
Yep. That is some bullshit.
I might have to mix that up. Okay, so we've got 3 Stacks.
Okay,
We've got Doom.
We got 3
We've got
Stacks.
Rakim.
All right. What's the next one, sir?
Oh man.
You're at number 4
Space is
right
limited. Space is limited.
Man, there's two. I listen more Biggie than Tupac, but I also think I'd still go Biggie. Even though I did listen to Tupac, I'd still put Biggie in there because when I used to DJ like college, parties, and I had like vinyl records, bro, I was like the Biggie duets. I was playing the wax off of that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That album was actually really good though.
Yeah, that album was super dope. And
Chris, no rapper has had more influence on the game in style.
I actually
listen.
I
in
smoking
style,
crack, nigga.
Listen, in style.
My guy.
Listen, this guy's crazy.
First off, Rakim is always going to have
has had more influence than Biggie.
In 2 albums.
That's
bro.
And one was posthumously posthumously released.
Yeah, after he died.
No one has had more influence than Biggie Smalls, the person right behind me.
I personally think influence-wise,
let y'all get your shit off.
Yeah, I personally think influence-wise, I think it's always going to be Rakim more than anybody.
Of course, but
thank you. Like
you're looking at
Biggie
the root of the tree, but as far as from his era,
the only way you can have
now,
a fruit if you have a root.
But listen, Rakim was a different beast. I'm talking about as far as,
and it's not just
albums.
and I'm not
Rakim
just
had
saying
more than 2 albums, didn't he?
Yeah, but how many solo albums have you listened to with Rakim? I've listened to almost all of his collection up until 2015. If he's released anything after that,
about the 7th Seal.
Yeah.
So and that wasn't even 15. That was a little bit before that. But I know exactly what you're talking.
Yeah. So I'm saying like soul samples, anything like that. So I really went deep into like cooking soul and all that stuff.
When your favorite rapper tells you that this man is one of the greatest to ever touch a microphone, that lends some credence to that point. When Jay-Z says this, when other rappers see.
Bro, do you really not like Jay-Z?
Hold on. I just got a phone call, so yeah, they telling me they're on the way.
Or you just talking?
No, they telling me they're on the way to your house. So
yeah,
just.
Do I really not like Jay-Z?
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you finish your vibe.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Any question you want to have after that, I will answer it honestly.
But seriously,
I don't want to.
You don't hear that in the background. I know you hear that.
I feel like I'm stepping on your shit, and that's not right. You know what I'm saying? Because it is your opinion. So
y'all hear that knock in the background?
I feel like
right now.
I feel like all of New York is
come see me. I got something for them,
bro.
Okay, no problem. Listen, they coming through like Amazon.
Please
no problem. They'll be there.
On his bumper in the comments, please.
Listen. Hope is in my 5 though.
Please, if you would like to join the
Hope is
Discord
in
Can't
my
put him
server.
in
5
your
though.
5 and then say fuck
Yeah,
him
we
in the
can.
same.
You can even jump on
Yeah, 'cause-
Discord
yeah.
and let him have
Oh
it.
yes, especially
You
thank you.
can
That is a
definitely
great
jump on Discord and
segue.
let him have it. Anyway,
Listen, we have
my
the
number
C.D.B.
5.
server.
My number 5.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm probably gonna go Mos Def.
Mm.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So if I'm picking my
That's interesting.
rappers, it kind of gives you like the wave pattern in which I like and listen to hip hop. Yeah, so yeah, Rakim, MF Doom, Andre, who the fuck was my fourth?
Biggie.
Biggie, and then yeah, Mos Def.
Mm.
I mean,
That's interesting.
it's very difficult if I'm just picking like my 5. Like there's got to be different
So
characteristics.
these are the guys that you listen to more frequently than anybody else, you would say?
Outside of Wu-Tang in like all of the Wu-Tang artists catalog. Yeah, I'd probably say these get the most replay value with me.
Mm-hmm. So quick question before I get my 5 off. Why did you have something to say about me having a debate with Eminem being in his? If he's not in yours.
No,
because I was anticipating you saying that Eminem was in the top 5.
I don't like top 5. If it goes in top 5, if we're talking like there's a bigger spectrum of like what makes GOAT. Like, what do you think? Right? There's agreeables that or non-negotiables, I guess someone has to have. Like, what would
well, we're not talking about a GOAT, we're talking about our top 5.
Right. Well, I'm just giving you my Mount Rushmore, my top 5.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about our Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
so
my personal 5. My personal 5
but a GOAT
is the one that was
like the D1.
Yeah, my personal 5 is that I just if it's his pick, right? If it's his pick and he's got M in there, we just know that you don't like him. Mine is not necessarily.
That immediately starts World War III in here.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, mine is not about like I don't dislike him as like you. Mine is just more.
You listen to what you listen to.
Yeah, what I think would be more moldable or shapeable.
Speed,
right.
Your type of speed.
Moldable or shapeable.
That's fine.
Yeah. So
listen, but
all right.
I'm ready for the chief.
Let's
all right.
Ready for the chief.
Let's go so we can get out of this topic, saying get to the next one.
Man, he probably getting killed in the comments right now.
Nah, not even, because I don't give a fuck how these niggas feel.
No, you should. They're our listeners. We have to.
No, I love them. I love them, but my opinion on my music or my top 5 is I don't give a fuck. Of course, I love our fans and I love our listeners.
He said,
but I'm just saying
who I said fuck y'all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all.
Fuck you too, all right?
He said fuck y'all respectfully.
Disrespectfully respectful.
Respectfully disrespectful.
And he said y'all mamas.
Nah, I ain't say nobody mama.
Come on, man. Come on, man. It's supposed to be
a
right,
I heard that.
We got the GOAT.
Boo! No, sorry.
You knew that was coming, nigga. You knew that was coming.
I was waiting. That's why you think I shut up. Because I
knew that was coming.
coming.
Shit.
So we got
if
the
he
GOAT,
didn't get you,
course.
I was. No, trust me. When we get the soundboard, the first thing that's going on is boo,
bro.
Who this man?
Fuck your shit, Dipset, homie. All right, so we got the GOAT, none other than Nasty Nas, aka Escobar, aka Nasir Jones. He's the greatest of all time. That's
greatest of all time.
It took me a lot not to put him in there.
I'm disappointed both of y'all that I didn't hear him mention, but you know what? That's neither here nor there. That's Josh. That's Josh. Y'all minds is fucked up. I can't. I'm all right. I accept it. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind's just, not ready on the Nas level. It's all right. Anyway, so we got Nas as number 1. Then we got the 18th letter, which is Rakim at number 2. At number 3, we have who?
No, I said there's a consensus thus far as that everybody
Rise-
Rakim.
rise in there.
Rakim, yeah, Rakim has
Listen,
definitely
folks,
been.
and this is to
Because I-
people that don't
Mhm.
understand hip hop. If Rakim is not somewhere in the realm of your personal favorite in like your hip hop Mount Rushmore, whatever, you chiseled this in stone, it doesn't move throughout the annals of time. Rakim is there.
Someone looks like a bunch of pieces of shit all over.
So
Look, even his girls in there giving him hell about all that
No,
shit.
she
He
just baked the
wildin'.
cake and
Oh,
she's telling me she's like, it looks
Mona,
like
he
that shit
wildin' in
fire.
here.
oh yeah,
helping.
and he put on mad chapstick
Yo, he
before the
wildin'.
show because he was like, I
Did
wanted
he?
to make sure my lips wasn't dry as you know,
But these
the
crazy
pavement.
ass takes that he just
Man,
made.
Listen, fuck
That-
that. Like I
he
said
be
to y'all,
talking, yo, the reason why his lips be so dry is because he be talking hot all the
Talking all
time.
that hot shit, bro.
Be talking mad spicy,
That's
bro.
that
Fuck you.
bullshit.
Burning his lower
I
lip.
don't give a fuck. Like, listen here. Let my shit scorch, all right?
The whole lip smell like beef patty and backwoods. That's
Ay,
crazy.
ay, 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 ay.
Nah, I just like to keep my
Ay,
shit
ay,
fresh.
ay.
You heard? Like,
Nah, he like to keep moisturized. That's what he's
yeah,
trying
you
to do.
keep
He's trying to keep
moist.
himself
You know what I
moist.
mean? Keep
Oh
moist.
my God.
Moist.
So yeah, so we
Shit,
got
bro.
Nas, we got Rakim at number
Yep.
2. We have damn, what was that? Damn, y'all don't do me. All right, so we have Nas, we have Rakim, right? We have Ice Cube at number 3.
That's not a bad pick.
Number 4, we
Not a
have
bad one.
Ghostface Killer.
Also not a
Hold
bad
on,
pick.
hold on.
Ghostface Killer number 4, and then number 5, and actually,
You
and
running
this is
through him
recent,
too fast. You
and this
feel
is
me?
that.
Damn, yeah,
No, I
he
didn't. I
trying to
ain't
give
doing-
you some slides. It's all
I'm
good.
trying to give you some slides and shit.
Oh, hold on,
You
hold
know.
on, hold on. Wait, so who I said again?
So you got
I
Ice
said
Cube.
Ice
and
Cube.
You got,
Ice Cube at number 3. And actually, no, I'm lying because it's Ice Cube.
Why?
It can't be put.
Why?
It can't be
All
put.
right. So let's
I'm
elaborate
gonna
here.
switch him from 3 to 5.
Hang on. Let's elaborate. Why Ice Cube? We already know that Ice
that's
Cube's
what I
gonna
was
be
gonna
in it.
ask.
No,
Why
why
Ice Cube?
Ice Cube?
Yep.
Now listen, from him, first of all, you have a man that written for a whole entire clique, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And to be able to accommodate each one of these artists' persona, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? That alone puts him in a different category, in a different conversation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he was able to accommodate four different MCs, you know what I'm saying? And make them to be to their best, you know what I'm saying? Their best light. Then when he goes solo with America's Most Wanted, you know what I'm saying? Then he went with the Lethal Injection, you know what I'm saying? The Death Certificate. Like these albums, Ice Cube was on a run for a very long stint. And then he brought you West Coast on West Side Connection, which was 2 MCs at that point who weren't even like super established,
Right.
but made them a global name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. See, but I understand this. So I think for most people, it's important for you to elaborate, right?
Mhm.
In why Ice Cube, because I'm okay with there being a just like it's such a difference in opinion of who are in our top 5. I
Mhm.
personally can like my top 5 would be wild to most people's consideration of who I would actually list.
Listen,
Right. So that's why like I like Ice Cube as a pick because the impact, right?
Mhm.
The impact. So it
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense, especially for like if you look what NWA did, and then you look what he did after NWA, then you look at the impact in culture that he has, like with movies like Friday, but then somehow getting all the way to like Are We There Yet? And then doing
and
stuff
not
with
even
like,
just like even with his movies, you know what I'm saying, his productions,
right,
you know what I'm saying, his film whatever the fuck they call it, filmography, whatever the fuck.
right.
But
Filmography.
Yeah.
you know what the
See,
fuck I'm
even
Yeah.
saying.
he look. Even he's looking at you all crazy.
Uh-huh.
Today. Look at this.
My thing is like my thing about Ice Cube is that he's been not only has he been like icon even stepping into the film, you know what I'm saying, realm, but also he contained no maintained a musical standpoint to where he was still sought after heavily in the 90s, heavily in the early 2000s. Before, like Ice Cube, you got people really gotta understand. Ice Cube had a real good 15-year run.
I mean, Ice Cube was still what was it?
15-year
The Players
run.
Club. What else was he doing? Yeah, I know for sure he did like the Players Club, and then he had stuff even after. I'm trying to think.
Like I remember when Ice Cube, when he wasn't even a huge name anymore, but he still was a name in at least our ears, you know what I'm saying, coming from our background and our age, you know what I'm saying, our generation. I remember when he did that song with Music Sochan. Why you wanna hate on me? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that song right there, it really still continue. It was a testament to his career. Like, even though Ice Cube, you know what I'm saying, he's going to his gangster side, you know what I'm saying, he's going to his political side, he's going to his supremacist side, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ice Cube still gives you value tracks, like
Right,
great songs. Like, you know
right,
what I'm saying? Like, there's certain MCs when it comes to their career, they no longer they just rapping, you know what I'm saying? And because you're so good at it, it gets off. You feel
right.
me? But like if you like a person like Ice Cube, not only was he good at it, but he was also making a statement on certain songs and certain tracks where he wanted to get a point across, and he got it across whether or not if you wanted to listen or not. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
So Ice Cube there, you know what I'm saying? And
And then
like
number
I said,
five,
I
four,
said
number
I switched to because four was on Ghost,
right.
and
So
like I
who?
said,
And then you're putting Ice Cube at 5, technically.
I said I could switch them right now,
All right, who are you switching?
going off of who I listen to the most right now,
No,
and
I'm talking about just in your
top
don't
five ever.
yeah, in your top
All
5
right, so
ever.
if we going top five ever, then Ice Cube is not really there, but he's there.
Okay.
Saying like I
Like
don't really
your
like.
top 5. He's there, but he's in your top 5, he's there.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course, bro. This
yeah,
is like,
exactly. Like
yeah. So this isn't like who's the GOAT rank? Go 1 through 5 is like
so
who
and
is
and
your
number
top 5?
five to finish it off is gonna be Hove. I gotta give it to Hove. If it's not
Yeah.
Hove, it's not Hove. The most I would listen to, the reason why I put him there is because I listen to this man more than I listen to Nas, and I will put Nipsey there. Nipsey is like by far one of my favorite artists of all time. So I would actually know it. I'm not even gonna put Hove there. I'm gonna put Nipsey there before I put Hove. I listen to way more Nipsey than I listen to anybody.
Hmm.
Period.
That's an
Real
interesting take.
talk.
And
Like
so how long have you been listening to Nipsey?
2007, 2008.
Okay. See, so
When he
that's where
first
like a
started,
lot of
feeling
people
myself.
and honestly, I'll be truthful, bro. I was in like boom bap era. Like I was in boom bap for such a long period of time that I was not familiar with Nipsey until like as he got a lot more notoriety in what was the song he did? I think it was with YG. So the
Which
song that
one?
he
The
had
fuck
with
Donald
YG,
Trump? Or are you talking about last time I checked?
yeah. So that's
See,
that was, and I don't know when that actually came out in
that came out
the
2018, Victory
okay.
Lap.
So then that is when I like actually was like, oh, okay, who this is Nipsey, all right. But nothing really pulled me into a place to where it was like, all right, I need to go back, right, and listen to discography and different things like that. Unfortunately, and I'll be honest too, is like I didn't get a chance to listen to him or at least dive into him more until after he passed. So, going back
You
and
know what
then
I think
looking,
it is too, bro? Because
yeah,
given your history of being a correctional, you know what I'm saying, the correctional field, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that, sometimes I feel like certain artists, they may speak to a certain, you know what I'm saying, like community, you know what I mean? And
right,
being that he came from the gang culture and everything like that, you know what I'm saying, like I did, you know what I'm saying, like I am from, like even though like I'm not from the same shit as him, you know what I'm saying? But like even though he came from that same gang community, you know what I mean? Like that spoke volumes to me, because it was something that was like, even though he was different or banging something different from what I was banging, it was something that was like unrecognizable, you know what I'm saying, to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it also stood to me because certain shit that he was saying, like he was always preaching about black empowerment. He was always preaching about ownership, you know what I'm saying, and having nothing but just straight, like, I'm not working for the white man, like, I'm fuck all that, like, I'm me, like, this is my shit, I own all my shit. And that was just something that always stuck out to me, because he's always been his own boss, you know what I'm saying, like from day one of his career. Like Nipsey has never been signed, he's always been an independent artist,
Right.
and you know what I'm saying, and made his own lanes and made his own pathway for himself, you know what I'm saying, like from going to being the first MC ever to have $1,000 mixtape, like come on, $100 mixtape, sorry, you know what I'm saying, and sold 1,000 copies, you know, but by Jay-Z buying it, you know. It's just certain moves that he made as being a boss, you know what I'm saying. And then also, like I said, his lyrics, like Nipsey, like it's his tone too, and that's the same reason why I have Ghostface as my number 4, you know what I'm saying. Ghostface's tone is different from any other MC that I've ever listened to in my whole entire life.
Yeah, Ghostface, probably one of my favorite albums.
He's original.
He's
original.
Well, Fish Scale and More Fish. I literally will play those back to back.
Pretty
Like,
Tony has to be in that also, bro.
No. I'm saying like from just like at that point in time, there was a bunch of stuff that Ghost was dropping. But like it was such a right of
it was the gut punch.
Oh man, like that's why I say like Fish Scale, it was so dope that it literally they were like, all right, well, we gotta come up with something like that. Well, we can just make more fish.
Absolutely.
Like we can just make more fish and then just drop way more heat. And it like Ghostface has always been consistent. Like, well, really, there's a lot of people in Wu-Tang that have just been consistent, but like Ghostface is
the most consistent artist in my opinion.
Yes and no. Are you saying?
Well, we already know. Are you saying me and you?
Hang on,
because he is Raekwon for him.
No. I'm saying like most consistent. How are you meaning? Was it based on being out of Wu-Tang?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
is that what you were saying? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because
I misunderstood it.
And I'll tell you the reason why he's the most consistent out of Wu-Tang, right? Like Method Man had his run, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when Method Man had his run, he then but he ended up getting into a collaboration, a duet, you know what I'm saying, a duo with Redman at one point, you know what I'm saying? So then Dave was able to bounce back and forth over each other, you know what I'm saying? When Ghostface first came out, he came out with a clique, you know what I'm saying, of 9 different other gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? So now you have to be definitive in that aspect of being in that big ass group, like, you know what I'm saying, like you had to be, something has to stick out for you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Ghostface for me, he stuck out with the Flash, and he also stuck out with his metaphors and the way he his tone. Like Ghostface was the epitome of a smooth nigga who will bust you in your fucking dome piece and still fuck your baby moms that night. That was the epitome of like.
Right. That's a good way to describe Ghostface. That's a really good way to describe Ghostface. But
Raekwon the Chef, in my opinion.
If you niggas don't quit it,
listen, we're gonna have this conversation for another day.
If y'all don't quit it with the Ghostface,
I'm gonna let him. You know, he's had some crazy takes today. I'm gonna let him take this one for the road. He can have that one for the road.
Fuck Eminem and Jay-Z.
See, but then he's gonna ask while they're at the Piggly Wiggly why somebody.
Bro, we ain't never getting invited to the cookout, bro.
We never listen.
Never.
We gonna have to leave him.
Listen in the here, you can invite Shogun, you can invite OE. Just know that Chief is not showing up.
Never making it to the banquet, yo.
Chief is never showing up.
I'm just trying to eat with Diddy and Hove and everybody else dressing a suit. And
I eat with Diddy, but I might eat with. I mean, I'll eat with Hove too. like I don't got nothing against Jay-Z. It's just he's just not in my tops. You feel me? Like I think Jay-Z is a phenomenal MC. Let's not dispute that at all. Like how I have my hate for Eminem is way different from how I don't view Jay-Z as my top five.
Yo,
It's
real
a
talk,
big
real talk. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I like just started liking Jay Z because I was like, I was into that Nas and Jay Z beef, and I was like,
pause. Let's go all day.
if I had to choose, yo, I
Let's
chose
go.
Nas, right? Like,
This
kind
man's face says it all behind me.
nigga. All right, what's Camel Face out here doing other than just, you know,
Being rich, successful, black.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
I mean, I listen, more power to the king. You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
there was an April Fool's joke that made the world round, and this was just all of that man. He had a Afrobeat album. They made the craziest fucking April Fool's joke off Jay-Z, and everybody was like, "Yo, we want that."
Can I tell you right now that if the album would have dropped, it would have never gotten one stream from me?
You don't like Afro beats?
No, he don't.
No,
See,
I'm
look,
boycotting Jay-Z.
ladies and gentlemen,
I've
Why?
been boycotting
hating on
Jay-Z for a
Afrobeats.
while now.
Why?
He's hating on Afro beats and everything African.
Why? That's
Why?
crazy.
Why do I hate? Why am I boycotting Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Honestly, after all, like the album release dates and everything was released for Nas's projects and Jay-Z's projects, and it was brought to the light and everything like that, and how much he was really trying to step on Nas's career, and not only step on Nas's career, but also emulate Nas's career in the same factor, right? Before you had the 444 album, right? Nas gave you Distant Relatives with him and Damian Marley, right? Gave you the Nigga album, the Untitled album, right? Everything that Jay-Z did and his done throughout his whole entire career was an emulation of a Nas, right? And he let Nas do it first and say, all right, let me show you something, right? Because he has the biggest megastar in the world as his fiance, as his wife at this point, right? He gets more notoriety to him. You know what I'm saying?
Go off,
like,
King. Go off.
Listen.
Let's
You
go.
gotta understand. Jay-Z has emulated Nas's career his whole entire fucking life. And fuck Jay-Z for that shit. Fuck Hove as a person, not as a person, but as an MC for copying Nas, all right? That's how I feel.
Ooh,
I don't give
buddy.
a fuck.
Man,
You and if the day when I meet Jay-Z in the office one day, I tell him straight to his face, you know you ain't shit, nigga, because you copied Nas on your whole career, right? I tell that man to his face. I tag him on any social media. I don't give a fuck. Like at the end of the day, Nas is the greatest MC of all time, and Jay-Z had to suck that man off on something.
Whoa, bro.
I'm talking about as copying. Pause on that. I'm talking about as a copying.
Ladies
like
and gentlemen, right here.
Technical
right behind
difficulties, whatever. Fuck him.
Right
Jay,
here.
you already know what it is.
difficulties.
Jay, you already know what it is. I done tell that man on plenty of
y'all see
occasions.
this
Fuck
shit?
Jay.
We're having technical difficulties in here. Please.
Yo, my stomach hurts.
Fuck Hove. I'm gonna keep on. Listen, Jay will never enter my top 5 anymore.
We're gonna have a special guest host next week because Chris is about to get jumped at the Piggly Wiggly by the whole Rockefeller roster.
Allegedly, just know that I got guns.
The Rock Nation.
Hey, Memphis
roster.
Bleak gonna pull up on you.
Memphis Bleak
I heard you was talking
Allegedly,
about my
just
man.
know I know how to shoot very well and fight. Just know that.
Listen.
I can fight.
Care.
No, that's not alleged. I can fight.
We know you can fight. That's just not.
Just allegedly know I will shoot y'all niggas. Y'all try to run up on me.
No violence, sir. We just want better for you. We just want better for you, King.
Why do you want better for me? Jay,
because you don't need that type of stress in your life.
Jay ain't do it for himself. Jay ain't do better for himself.
Take us into
He
the next
didn't do better
topic,
for himself
please.
as an MC.
All right, so put a bow on this one. He
That
wildin'.
That Hove copied Nas his whole career. Yeah, we could put a bow on that.
Bro,
Respectfully,
I ain't never
look,
seen
respectfully.
Nah, respectfully my ass. Disrespectfully, Jay-Z. Respectfully my ass. He copied. Nah, technical difficulties. Jay-Z copied Nas his whole entire career, and the Chief is saying it right now. Chief Chris, aka the creator of Chaos. I'm saying it loud. Like fuck that nigga. Fuck Nah, he ain't the
Oh.
greatest.
Oh, that's
He ain't in my top
hilarious.
5. Praise
No,
your
that-
king though.
That is so crazy.
And fuck Eminem.
Oh my god.
Now, next topic.
Where's the commercial? Where's the commercial? Give me something right here, right now.
Difficulties, my guy.
Edit.
Yes, edit point. Oh my goodness. All right.
These words are brought to you by the C.D.B boys.
No. These words are brought to you by Chief Chris of the C.D.B Boys podcast.
AKA the creator chaos.
That does not, these views do not represent our views. Well,
Fucking
OE's views, because, you know, I still have family in New York.
Fucking Eminem.
And I don't know how good he is in Michigan, but they'll see him.
I'm very good, Flint. All day, you already know. I've been out there. I lived in Flint.
You know what?
All right, so you know what?
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna keep it moving.
All right, so the next topic that we're gonna bring up is this is a great one too, because it rolls right into the new one.
Oh my god.
Uh,
I'm sorry. Man. I thought I
You didn't think you was getting this today, huh?
Ooh, I did not.
And I'm sober.
So look,
No,
right behind me is ego.
Oh.
Let's talk about egos.
Oh, so we are getting into what the streets want.
Yes, this is what the
All right,
streets
so this
want,
is our new
segment.
topic, our new segment that we are introducing to the podcast. It's called What the Streets Want. So now every week, what we do in our Facebook group and our Discord group, we actually have a poll and we put certain topics out there that maybe we think that the streets want to hear about, whatever the case may be. We allow them all to also vote on it and add to it. So today, on this week, ego was the top. So go ahead, take it away, baby.
Egos. Everybody has one, just like an asshole. We all have different things that trigger our ego or hurt our ego. For me, other than motherfuckers talking wild on the, Jehovah, for me, it's just non-acknowledgement of my contribution. That hurts my ego. Like, if you ask me to help you in any way, shape, or form, and then you make it seem like it's nothing big when you ask me for your help, that hurts my ego a little bit. That hurts my pride. That makes me want to choke you. But that's one of the main things. But my ego.
Do you think that your ego plays a part in that though?
Yes, because I take pride in my work.
Okay.
I take pride. If you ask me to help, I'm gonna help you to the best of my ability. And if you just shit on that makes me look within.
So now, do you think that at any point that your ego may be more conquering as opposed to like actually like trying to build something, but your ego may take over so much that it's like, you know what, you don't care about the opinions of other people, you know what I'm saying, or like the direction of it. You feel like because of your ego and like you're so dominant or being alpha, actually, you know what I'm saying, that you don't allow any type of input. That's more my question. I feel like because ego can come into play to different aspects, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be more dominant to the point where it's like you're not even trying to listen to somebody. And it could also be because you feel like your ego, you don't want to let something die, like because you built something, you know what I'm saying? And your pride will not let you will not let your baby fail. You know what I'm saying?
That could be it. Listen, that's a great view. I would have to do more soul searching, more looking within to think about that and to put those words into perspective that you just said.
All right. Now, Double A, let me ask you a question on ego, right?
Good.
Where do you feel that it plays a part more in any kind of relationship? Where do you feel your ego fits in with a like, for instance, our what we have right here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All right, when we first built this together, you know what I'm saying? And going into this journey that we are in now, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't want to have it to any of our names, you feel me, attached to the our
Right.
logo and our
And I think from that standpoint, it's just being respectful of other people who are in the same space, right, as you.
okay.
So if it's shared space, then you want there to be equal ability to share the space. And one thing you guys always say to me, which I'd like to have that responsibility, right, of being able to do a lot of stuff from like the production side, post editing, anything like that. And you guys are always forthcoming and being like, hey, is there anything that we can do um to any mold or standard,
You know what?
right?
I'm
You know what I'm
glad you.
saying? So
Go ahead,
um
King.
a lot of people may think like, well, you do have people that are there to help. Maybe part of that may fall into my ego, so to speak, I guess, if like I want it to look a certain way, but I also am trying to do other things and other looks in other ways, right? So it doesn't
Okay.
have to be um linear in regards to like this is the only way that it moves and it's going to consistently move this way, and this is how it's going to look, and then no one else is going to be a part of this. I appreciate like having that help and that ability. And then there's other things that you guys contribute, like if it wasn't for you all, like to look in the group, and then also within like the Facebook group, the Discord, that's a major element that I wasn't even a part of. Like I literally just joined the Discord this past week, so that was something. You know what I'm saying? So that was something where I'm like, what am I looking at? Like, how do I even, operate this? And like, looking at one element, and if you tap it and then you're like, all right, cool, I want to go back. Well, wait a minute. Where do I go in that? Like where? Oh, okay, cool. Well, there's nobody here. Nobody's saying anything. Where's everybody else saying stuff? So trying to find that and just navigate it was a little bit different. Got it figured out a little bit now. But yeah, man, I mean, like the biggest thing for us is trying to make sure that we understand that this is going to be continuous. Like it's not going to be one person in some way, shape, or form. Like there's different times where like you can take a supporting role while someone leads off, right, and then they lead into a direction, and it's like, if that's not the way that we collectively want to go, then we come together and we have those conversations to be able to do that. But it's allowing each other to understand like there's no need for the ego. We can just go,
Yeah.
right? Like we
do
can
a
just
pretty
go.
Great job of checking our ego at the door.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too, even just when conversation, there's times where I take a step back just so I can understand like what's being said, where you guys are communicating, like, hey,
Yeah.
what's going on within Discord? Hey, this is what we're trying to do within the Facebook group. Here's da 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 da. And now me changing within my schedule at work, it's helping a lot, because then it's like, oh, I totally get it. Right. I totally get it as to why it's necessary for everybody to play a role in a certain way. And like something doesn't, like if something gets, somebody gets busy in one area, then the other two step up. Right. And we understand, but we are always communicating to each other. So it doesn't allow for there to at least be a building of ego, because I think that, to answer your question long form, is that can even happen, right? So there can be a growth in ego if it becomes unchecked. And I think a lot of times, like depending upon professional environments that people work in, or creative environments that you might share with other creative people, if you aren't able to at least communicate it well enough, and then everybody has their checks and balances, and we're all keeping each other accountable in certain places, then it would make the most sense, right? But that's where I think a lot of that stuff lacks. So in corporate, you know, in the corporate world, 9 to 5, all of those things, you have different personalities, but those personalities don't communicate well enough to where like it brings the egos down, right? And or you check them at least to be like, you're really a nobody in the grand scheme of things. So, but you are somebody, but
Someone.
yeah, you are somebody, but it's just dependent upon whom that is too. Like, what importance do you actually play? Does that mean that you're going to see some type of monetary response to your importance, or is it going to be a ripple effect that's going to occur, you know, long after the dollar or the you know, the actual deed was done? So will it have a longer lasting effect, or will it just be really quick and short and nobody, it's a blip in time? Like, we're all in a cosmic timeline. That's life. And it's super quick, but that could be 100 years that I just snapped, right? Even though it was 1 second, that's 100 years to someone, somewhere, something, like some whatever. So yeah, bro, I don't know. Sometimes
Ego's
people
a
just,
I have a, I have a, I have a, I have a better
double-edged
question
sword.
for both of you guys. All right.
yeah.
All right. And come closer to your microphone so I can hear you better, brother.
You
So
can't hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
So
How
question.
about now?
Yep.
Do you think that ego is a hindrance, or is it something that can be like what's the word I'm looking for? Is it a hindrance, or is it enabling
No,
that person to be
or
better?
can it be an asset? I think is
Or
what you're saying.
asset. There you
Yeah.
go.
To
There you
me,
go.
it's
There
a
you go.
double-edged
There you go.
sword.
Asset. There you go. Sorry.
You need it, but you don't need too much of it. And at the same time, too, having it varies in uh different situations
Mm-hmm.
and different times, depending upon who's also in the same situation with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
um so you could be like, we could all be sitting in a room with someone that, you know, may or may not look it, but might be important to future things that could happen with the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the network, whatever. But our egos could be so unchecked that we miss an opportunity. Whereas knowing, and again, it's just growing life, understanding all this stuff, knowing when and where to be able to use that simultaneously. Like, if I go play a game of soccer, I know I've lost a step, right, from time playing collegiately, semi-professionally, but my ego is still on 1,000, right? Because like I was saying earlier, like, you know, even listening to DMX or and all that stuff when I was in high school, that was ego, right? That was like super ego, even to where it's, I am, I have to use it to put myself in the realm that actually might be truthful, but to anybody else, it's like the same, you know, realm as like a prize fighter, like Muhammad Ali. Like, I grew up and played sports in that mindset. Like, I am the greatest. When I step on this field, if you're only able to use the ball or play with this, you know, soccer, football, because I allow it. But when I come get it, it's mine.
Okay.
So
That's a great winner's mentality. I like that. But
so
like I'm saying, but go ahead, finish up. Finish up.
but then I might come across somebody that literally like will just put me on
Demolish you.
you know what I'm saying? Just get, I just get eaten alive. And what that would do to my ego is then go, okay, well, you found out that was a lie. So what do you
But
do
there's a
from there?
difference. The ego is a double-edged sword. Like,
Yeah, so
It
that
can be.
leads right into what you were saying. It really is.
It can
is
be.
It's a double-edged sword. You know, when you need that extra boost of confidence, the ego is there. It's just nah, fuck that. I am the best at this. I'm gonna kick fucking 30 goals. They're
Right.
not gonna be able to stop me.
Right.
They're gonna look at me and be like, he is a god. That's what the ego does. But when things don't go the way you plan, the ego can really tear you apart. It can really make you feel like, fuck, what did I do all of this for? How
It
did I
can even, especially when it comes to sports, though, like an ego
even in
can
life
definitely.
though? Even in life,
Yeah,
No, yeah,
absolutely in
sure,
life.
sure.
I did all.
No, yeah,
all
yeah.
all
I
of these things,
deserve.
yeah, all of these
That's the
things are
main
all
thing.
interconnected. So like you said, Chris, is the even within sports, same thing with saying this is life. A lot of these things that we're starting to see, like the lines are blurred, like the connections to all of these things now are so much closer, so much more interconnected, that like talking about ego is, now it's starting to unwrap like how our egos flow into different events in life
It'd
or
be a
different
dangerous
things.
thing.
Right.
Be a very dangerous thing to to listen to your ego. It can be very dangerous because, like,
Okay, so I got a question for y'all, and I really want to hear. Do you think in today's age now that the ego is what's the word? Overstimulated?
yes, absolutely,
And why
absolutely.
so?
To a degree.
Chris, we don't have to. I mean, we've seen this play out
To a
firsthand.
degree.
We've seen this play out firsthand. People think that they're in bigger than what they are, and that's their ego talking to them. I'm the owner of this. I make these decisions. Only me. When, to be honest with you,
But I'm
your
a
ego is
victim
going to
of that.
lead you to
I'm
be
a victim
alone.
of that also, and I'm not saying a victim. I'm actually like a person who's actually like
You've
taking
lived it.
on that ego part, where it's like for instance, like the group that I've created on Facebook, saying there was times when I first created it in the first couple of years that I was just so quick to just kick anybody out, because I'm like, I'm the creator of this shit. So you don't go what I say, like, fuck out of here. Like, you get out of here. And I've banned a lot of people, saying, and kick people out and ruin some relationships. Some of them may be bad, some of them may be good. Like I've lost a couple of, like, not, I wouldn't
Close
say
people.
friends, but like more or less just people that I was talking to morally on a daily basis, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely.
And I fully admit that, you know what I'm saying, that my ego was a huge part of that part, you know what I'm saying? And not really just my ego, but just feeling like that I was just more than what it was, the actual ideal, you know what I'm saying, idea of why we all came together, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I felt I was bigger than the product, actually, so to speak, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And
So
that's the same thing, guys.
I've allowed my ego to take over at points in the past, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I will never deny that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's been times that I've done a lot of dumb shit because of my ego, you know what I'm saying? But I will also say that sometimes I felt like my ego was so strong that it was like, it was empowering to me also, because it's like I would refuse to be anything less than what I know that I am, or I can be, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Which, it's balance, man. It's so much balance in trying to figure out when it's an asset or when
Or
it's a
when it's a
liability,
hindrance,
right?
or
Yeah,
a
yeah,
liability.
absolutely. Yeah. And the line can be so thin that like you can just lean a certain way and it can throw off like so much that it can be counterproductive.
It can cause
Right.
it. It can also cause a chain reaction where, certain things happen that you can't. It either it's too late to fix,
Right.
or
It's very hard to get beyond a first impression. And if
So what if
from
you have a first impression on somebody, right?
yeah,
And then this impression that you had on this person does it correlate with the person that you are now interacting and like, because let's say for instance, right,
That's
if you
man,
hire
this is a
somebody,
really good
right, if you
question.
hire somebody, right, to do a
Yeah,
certain job and then they fit the quota, you know what I'm saying, down to the T,
criteria. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
quota criteria, you know what I'm saying, down to the T, you know what I'm saying, and then out of nowhere they just shapeshift off of you, you know, shapeshift off of you, you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
then now that this person is no longer the same person that you was either employed by or employing, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So now this does the ego come into the picture at that point,
Well,
or
I
is it more or less
That's a
being,
little bit different.
yeah,
So,
I think it all
because
still
I feel like sometimes when you even though, you know what I'm saying, like I came to you guys, you know what I'm saying, for the podcast, right?
right,
Now, let's say like at any point I've been like, you know what, I ain't fucking with this, you know what I'm saying, anymore, because I felt like
right.
at one point that I should have been like the more dominant person, you know what I'm saying? So now let's just say at that point, then how the fuck does that continue on in that basis of building that friendship or also even building that the brand, you know?
Well, again, I
Like that
think
you have to understand the product that we're all trying to push, you know what I'm saying?
that's coming from communication. So then you have for as big as your individual ego, and I think what always helps is
Mm-hmm.
working within,
I see
triangle
the
offense.
vision.
Yeah, working within a triangle offense, like one person can have a certain thought pattern or pathway, but there's a counterbalance. For every one, there are two
1000%.
that are
Mm-hmm.
going to then, and it's
It creates
never
dialogue.
yeah, bro. It's never a situation to where we're not speaking to each other,
Yeah.
right?
absolutely.
Where it's
And
like
that's what
it,
I like. That's what I appreciate about y'all brothers.
yeah,
Like, I reach out to y'all reach out to me. We have a rolling conversation
yeah.
throughout the
It
entire
never,
week leading up to the podcast. We just every
absolutely.
time, yo, what's goody Kings?
Right.
Chris's
What's
favorite
happening?
line to me is, yo, what good morning, Kings, what's goody Kings? What we doing? I love that. Like that motivates me even more.
Right. Because
To
then it's
be
starting
able,
to think like, oh, okay. Like I know what day it is and I know what's coming up. We got Easter Sunday tomorrow and all of the
Mm.
things that are going on, me working my job, and then I'm like, oh man, wait, we got a pod today. Oh, okay, cool. Ooh. So then just trying to like get things done just so this way I'm available. I know that you guys are, giving your time too. So it's
Mm.
trying to then in my own, it's like, hey, I don't want to be selfish. Of course I can go out, but at the same time too, what is that going to do? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is a brand that you have to
There you
build.
go. I
So
was about to say
there's
brand.
sacrifice that has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? Whatever you wanted to do, so what? But if you continue to just be consistent, who knows what happens in 3 months,
There we go.
or who
who
Consistency.
knows
knows
what
what
happens
happens in
in,
6 months,
6 months
a
or a
year.
year.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows what happens within a year and a half, 2 years, and so on. So it's really just like, again, talking about ego. It's we're communicating, but in a way, like there's communication that happens on like a sub level, to where it's telling you something that it's helping to keep the ego in check,
All
right?
right.
Versus
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
um the ego gets bigger, it becomes more volatile situation, which I'm sure every podcast
And I
that
was just
is
about
of
to
the
ask you that question
culture,
because
right? Every podcast is of the culture, talks about
mm-hmm.
the Joe Budden podcast and what's
Mm-hmm.
going on with their co-hosts, why they haven't been there. I mean, again, we are in that
And
group,
please,
right?
I wish we guys let's
And
stop dropping the names.
yeah, but here's
But
the
but,
thing
but
though.
I get what
I
you're saying.
No,
understand
no,
it.
no, no. Listen,
And
Chris, to be
it's
honest with
not
you,
something we need to
we
stay on it,
no,
but
when
go ahead.
my whole thing is when for us to know where we're going, we got to know where we've been.
Yeah,
No,
we also
we
have to
came from
follow.
that. We came from there, and it's not that we're saying their names as to get any type of promo or
It's
anything.
not. It's no.
It's
It's just
just
that
it's
I don't
just
exactly what you just said right there. I don't want it to
no,
be
no. It's
like
not
where
gonna
No,
be
where
that
it's
like
way
we trying to use it
if
for
we don't
clickbait
make
or
it.
here's
people
the
to
thing
make
is
it think like oh
well,
They
you
mentioned
have to
them on this one
you have to
podcast. So
use
segment.
certain things as examples, right?
No, of
Because
course, of course, of
there might
course.
be things within like podcasting where someone that maybe gets a payout or they strike a deal or something. They maybe bring something a little bit different. I think from our standpoint, we bring a uniqueness to the table that's not just about like, hey, we have a podcast. Like, no, it's interconnecting web of we bring all of these things here. We have a Discord server, we have a Facebook group. Simultaneously, we have audio, we have visual. By the way, we also have creatives in this realm. We have creatives over here. We are also hosting multiple channels on Twitch, or you see what I'm saying? Like, there's an interconnected web. So then what that does is it gives
I
and
just don't
builds.
want it to. I just don't want any smut thrown on
Yeah,
our name and our
no.
brand
Listen,
because
But that's
of us
again, it's
mentioning
just
to that.
you're
You know what I'm
gonna.
no,
saying? Like
we're not
I agree.
talking.
I get what you
We're
got. I
not
get
we're
what you
not
meant. The
talking
reason
about
why
it
you
from a
did that.
standpoint of it's just like we acknowledge that there is something that's happening there. We don't know truthfully what that is,
Yeah.
but there's a bunch of speculation that's out there. So from our standpoint, based on just off of speculation, we are trying to make sure that we don't get to a place to where there might be friction and there's issues. If you know one of y'all go on vacation and we still need to maintain our consistency, then there's something that we can do to be able to change that. Does that mean that one of the person that went on vacation is no longer a part of the brand or doesn't have as much equity in that? No, it's just like, hey, you should be allowed to go do whatever you want, and if you have to do that,
Well, side note, fellas, if I go on vacation, trust and believe, I'm either gonna send a homing pigeon. I'm gonna zoom through smoke,
you know what I'm saying?
smoke signals.
Something from the
I'm
borough,
gonna steal somebody's
get your
laptop.
cousin, get your cousin on the corner on the block,
Yep.
doing
He's
that.
gonna be calling birds. We gonna get this. We gonna get this pot off. I'm going on vacation, but this
No,
right
but,
here,
but
this don't stop. This
no,
is
and I agree with you, bro. And you know what it is, and also just piggybacking off of what Double A said too. You know what I'm saying? It's like with the making sure that we're all available, you know what I'm saying, and also making sure that we're all at least in tune with each other, you know what I'm saying, like and it also goes off of our weekly, you know what I'm saying, besides us recording today, you know what I'm saying, on our off our weekly like interaction with each other, you know what I'm saying, and we keep in contact, whether it be through our chat, you know what I'm saying, or even video calls at times, you know what I'm saying, where we all jump on, we just get our shit off, So I think that the thing is though, and kind of like not to wrap up the ego, but like for my stance on the ego point is that when it came to me picking two different co-hosts, or at least picking a co-host to try to launch a podcast with, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you guys mentioned the Joe, I'm going to go ahead and just speak on it, you know what I'm saying? Because I had created that Joe Button group, you know what I'm saying? And I gained the following that I had gained at that one point, you know what I'm saying? It came to the point where it's like, I no longer wanted my name even affiliated with just being the creator of that group, you know what I'm saying?
Because you wanted to do more. You wanted to
Yeah,
do more,
because
but
I think that was a part of my ego.
Right.
I think that was a part of my ego because even though I created and I gained friendships with you two guys, and there's hundreds, like even my current relationship right now that I'm in, you know what I'm saying? I big it up to the fucking creation that I had for creating this group, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never take it that way. But my point was that my thing was that at one point I wanted to get to this, like, you know what, I want to be my own entity, I want to be my own name, I want to be my own brand, and that's what made me like, and I'm glad that we brought this ego into, because I feel like my ego plays a part of me not wanting to mention certain things, you know what I'm saying? Right. Because I don't want to be labeled under nobody else, you know what I'm saying?
That's absolutely true, bro.
Yeah.
But
I want to be me. That's it.
As far as us, mentioning them, as long as we're not doing it like it's forced
maliciously,
bro,
or it's malicious, there's no problem. Listen, you're always gonna get, for every 30 likes, you're gonna get 25, or you're gonna get 20. It doesn't matter. Well, the only thing that matters to me is the consistency of this podcast. It, the quality that we're trying to put out there. Because as you can see from episode 1 to now, the quality has
6.
gone up. 6.
Yeah, and look at it, like
6. I may not
y-
know how to count.
these fellas got microphones. They're like geared up. Oe's got a
Yo,
ring
just
light. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to step the game up. I look like I'm just kicking
you
it
look like you belong here.
in the
You look like
dojo.
you belong
That's
in the
it.
space.
Yeah,
And
bro, I'm in the
that's what we're
dojo. That's literally, you know what I'm saying? But the cool thing about it is like I'm enjoying this.
Mhm.
And I know that not maybe I can't speak for you gentlemen. You are as well because
Oh
this
yeah,
is like
1000%. Can
nah,
you?
this shit trash, bro.
but this is this is
I'm here so I don't get fined.
big
All
fine.
jokes aside, listen,
Yeah,
we
no,
are
this is
here.
fun.
We
This is
are
fun.
here because we want to be here. We love doing this. This
Mhm.
is I look forward to every either Saturday or Sunday when I get to speak to you gentlemen, because this lets me know that
Well, not speak because we speak, but
no,
record.
but
Yeah, no, but like in a recording phase.
Mhm,
Yeah, it
mhm.
leave the
does.
background. We're literally
Yeah,
just talking to each other. We're having
Yeah,
right.
that's
That's
it. That's
it.
all we're doing.
That's it.
We're just having a
yeah.
conversation.
That's it. And then we just go, all right, you guys ready? Cool.
Yeah,
And
let's
then we
talk.
just keep talking. So most of this stuff is and that's why I think a lot of times too, just to bring people in from the standpoint, like there's no blueprint to try and
No.
get whatever it is you're wanting to get.
Not
Like
at
do
all.
what you want to do. I've wanted to do this.
Follow your fucking dreams.
I
Follow
want to
your
connect with
dreams,
people.
ladies and
I know
gentlemen.
I know that these
Never let
gentlemen,
nobody, never let
yeah.
nobody. Sorry, bro. I'm just step on you 1 second.
Yeah,
Follow
yeah,
your
no
follow your
shit.
dreams
You
Nigga.
and
felt that
never let
Timberland boot
nobody
on your head though?
never let nobody tell you that you can't fucking succeed. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point, before I brought these 2 gentlemen in, or at least spoke to them and said that I want to do this together with them, I was struggling for about a year and a half to launch my shit, you know what I'm saying? And launch my podcast. And once I finally found somebody that I felt like, yo, these guys are fucking dope. They're smart. They fucking know what they're talking about when it comes to the culture. Like they didn't know this is a different background, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't let
Oh, nah, I
I
got
didn't
love for
let I
y'all.
didn't
I'm dumb as shit, but I got love for y'all. And
nah,
that's why
nah. I didn't let my failures of me trying to launch my podcast singly or solo diminish my ideas of having this broad fucking platform that we're gonna create. You know what I'm saying? That we're
Yeah, and
creating.
most of the time, like, here's the funny thing is like, we've only told you, like a grain of rice worth of what is happening behind the scenes, and for good measure and good reason. A lot of times, because you want to make sure you're protecting, your
intellectual property.
yeah intellectual property, absolutely. Um, but in regards to like maintaining there being an ego. There is two realms. Like we are dope as shit. We hope that you understand that.
That's a fact.
We want to be as inclusive as humanly possible to make sure that like if there's stuff that you all want us to or want to hear from us, man, I can't wait until the point to where we can get like questions and call-ins and different things like that to
That would
hear
be awesome.
from individuals. And this is just another step, like the fact that we're able to have this question and this the poll come up and be able to get different topics, because it is important and it is interesting to hear things that people are talking about. And when it comes to like ego, there's so many things and aspects of ego that we could talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what does a ego look like in a professional setting? What ego would you have? Do you have an ego? Should you have an ego? Should you have an ego in a relationship, right? In an intimate relationship,
Mm.
in a friendly relationship, right?
Mm.
So it's not just,
We could
and I
have a
think when
whole podcast on just
yeah, so there's
this
so
topic.
many things about the
We're
word
just
ego.
brushing on it right now.
Right. And then there's super ego. So there might be like
I think we might have
or
to touch ego again.
right in an alternative ego that you might have? Is there some type of mechanism that comes into play where you basically have another persona? I guess I would say that I do, and that
light
is the
switch turns
Shogun,
on
right?
You know what?
and
You know what? You know, I'm glad you said that too, though. So like you creating a different persona of your ego, right? So
Right.
now when it comes to your ego, when creating a persona, do you have a different persona online that you try to protect, you know what I'm saying, and try to portray at least,
Well,
as
no, not
opposed to
really.
no, as opposed to your real life? Like some
Uh
people like,
well,
because this goes off of our toxic shit that we talked about last week,
so
you know what I'm saying?
there are, yeah, man. Listen, so I
we
agree.
could be here for another 4 hours. You
I
motherfuckers
Yeah,
killing me.
I know,
Listen,
right?
one
Hang
thing
on.
I'm gonna say about no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, like, from that standpoint, in interconnecting like a lot of our talking points, there are people that are coming into just the understanding of how to be an entity within cyberspace. So
Right.
Absolutely.
those people are non-genuine. You can see who that is if you just allow them to speak enough, right? If
Mhm.
you see it.
People show you who they are, you gotta
Exa-
believe them. You have to believe them.
Absolutely. But there are certain things, like there's stuff that I would joke about as A.Hun The Shogun that I wouldn't want to associate with just Aaron Hunter, right? And there's stuff with Aaron Hunter where it's like, do I really want to associate that with Shogun? So it's understanding and knowing,
So
like,
you separate Shogun from Aaron?
yeah, absolutely. I think that there is more.
So Shogun and Aaron are not the same people?
They share principles, but I think how
Because
they,
I'm really trying to get this down
yeah,
now.
absolutely. I think they
So
share.
so Shogun is more of what?
Shogun is
Shogun is the
more of
slice
like,
your head off, like don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say what I want to say,
I
as opposed
protect
to
I
Aaron is
protect the
what?
clan at all times. So I live in codes of Bushido, and that,
My speed right there.
bring honor to the family, the clan, the
Never,
group,
never
whatever it
dishonor
is,
the family. Never
right?
cause
So
dishonor to the family. Live your life righteous.
yeah, so you have
Listen,
that, right? But then when you have Aaron, there's more, you know, dad, uh person that wants
father,
to,
son, dad.
yeah, make world better, um all of those things. And you know, even dealing with some of the stuff that I've got going on personally, that
Mhm.
doesn't have anything to do really with Shogun. So
Absolutely.
some of those principles I have to pull in from Shogun into my personal existence as Aaron. Then yeah, of course. So that there is, like, knowing how to have balance. And when I am in Shogun mode, I guess, if you want to say that, yeah, there you have reached a point to where it's like, okay, this is very, I'm battle ready at that point.
Okay.
And whether or not it's a peaceful and honorable um procedure in regards to battle, if there's a need for it or not, then I will do whatever is necessary to make sure that me and the clan and the group and family, which is not just immediate but all inclusive to those that understand and live by the same principle, live by. And we will defend it with, you know, all means. Um, but at the same time, too, it's like, Aaron's more vulnerable, more personable. I also still like to remain a little bit hidden from,
Mhm.
putting stuff on the internet. Like, I don't want to put my kids on there very much, just
Mhm.
from having worked in corrections. But at the same time, too, like, there's stuff for me that I want that to be for me, right? It doesn't have to be all
Absolutely.
out on the internet. I don't want to, tell people what's going on with my life, because what are you even interesting if they know everything about you and can find
Exactly.
it all because you
Some
give it away
things
for
need to be
free?
taken. Some things need to be kept away. Just the mystique.
Right. And that's where, that is a lot to deal with in this day and age, and people
1000%.
really do
Especially
not know how to
because
separate.
of our engagement, especially what we're trying to do right here, you know what I'm saying, with being like social media advocates, you know what I'm saying, in social
Yeah,
media, like,
of course.
so there is certain times where we can come into like a crossroads, so to speak, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
with our real life and
absolutely,
what we're trying to do here. So,
absolutely.
I have a question for you though. Do
I'm
you
thinking
separate yourself? Is there a different entity between O from the block, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to O, the
there's
husband
two
and
different
father?
there's there's they're the same person. I am who I am. My name is my name.
If you
Um,
know, you know.
if you know, you know. For me, there's just certain boundaries that are hard coded into into my existence, into my being, where
Mm-hmm.
that it's just like Aaron's Bushido code. There's just certain things that I live by
Right.
and things that I don't share with the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
My kids being one of them, my home
Okay.
life being another.
That's
And
understandable.
it's
Like
and it's
your
interchangeable.
loins is your loins.
It's
Yeah,
interchangeable. It's just
yeah,
there's certain things that I don't share, not because I'm being secretive or hidden, or there's certain things I keep my family away from. Like my social media presence is my social media presence, is my privacy space. This is what I do for me. In the same
Mm-hmm.
token, where you know my wife, she doesn't listen to the podcast. If she wants to, she can. She has the. She chooses not to
right.
because of the way that I present it. Is this is my space. We are together. We are one in a certain aspect. But this is just like you have your space.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own. This is my own. This is where I come
So
to.
now, question, bro. Like, let's say if your wife is in hypothetically speaking, and she started her own podcast, right?
I wouldn't listen. There's nothing there for me. There wouldn't be
Okay.
anything
So
in there for me
you wouldn't feel like you would have
unless
to
if she asks me to listen. I would listen. But if
Yeah,
for your input,
off,
for
but
your
off
input.
rip, there's nothing there for me because she's
Obviously,
being
she's gonna
vulnerable
be.
in her. If she
Mm-hmm.
wants anything that she wants to say to me, and if she says on the podcast, I would think that she would say to me.
Correct.
So there should be no type of insecurity or any type of thing
yeah,
like that going on.
Exposure or something
yeah.
like
You
that.
Exposure.
wouldn't be worried about listening because you're trying to hear something that you wouldn't normally hear. You
Go
would
Now,
looking for
only,
trouble, you're gonna
now
yeah,
find it.
yeah,
now
absolutely.
I have one thing that I want to say about all of that you guys were saying, especially about the fact of having a significant other, or what you were saying about saying, because for me, like I do have a significant other, saying,
Right.
who is social media adapt, at least I would say, saying, and she has been in our groups, right? But my thing is, right, I have two older kids, saying, like I have a 21-year-old and I have a 19-year-old, right? Now, my thing, and I have my baby boy, saying, who's 14. I'm not going to exclude him from that, but saying, but all my kids are of at least adult, teenager or adult age,
Yeah,
saying.
they're older.
So now, my thing is though, do you think it comes to a point? Well, actually, my question is, do you think it comes to a point where I feel as a parent I expose too much to my kids, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all all my friends on social media, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see how transparent I am, you know what I'm saying? And everything that I've been through or everything I do, whatever I do, you know what I'm saying? Do you ever think that at one point you'd be like, yo, damn, this nigga Chief is wilding out here?
No,
Honestly.
here's the
Listen.
thing though, is that like I don't ever I mean, if I think that there's some guidance that maybe I can give,
Mm-hmm.
just as much as I would expect it in or be reciprocated, if I might be quote unquote wilding. Um, no, I mean, I haven't seen anything that like throws up like, hey, my guy, we got to talk. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think if you're, it's just, you know, bro, I'm never
because I
going to
have
be.
older
I'm
kids,
never
you know what
going.
I'm saying? Like it's the
Yeah,
difference between having a significant other who's an adult of obviously as we are, you know what I'm saying, and then having kids who's also an adult, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like how do you let that portray off of you trying to not portray, but like how do you let that work its way into your everyday lifestyle, you know what I'm
I
saying? Of you
mean,
just being
That goes
eventually,
all,
transparent,
but
yeah.
of you
that
being
goes all
Results.
into your
transparent.
character, bro. That
Yeah,
Say
goes
that
it's
again. Oh,
that goes all into your character. And
yeah,
I from the short, we've known each other for a bit now, and I can see you're a person of good character. You
mm-hmm.
wouldn't be out here wilding. So
right.
and even if you know you have a slip up or something like that, I know you to be a person that your character won't let you do certain things. You won't go past any type of
Right.
thresholds or things
Yeah.
like that. So
Or even just accepting accountability for
that's
certain
Well,
and
things.
I think that
even you
comes
saying
down to
that right now, that shows your character.
yeah, I was gonna say I
Some
think that
people
comes
don't.
down to your growth and evolution too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Absolutely.
like all of us, we're in our 30s, so there's been growth and evolution, which we all know, right? We can look
Mm-hmm.
at ourselves from like 5, 10 years ago
One
and then
thousand
go
percent.
Five,
and
ten
then
years ago, I was wilding, and
yeah,
I
five,
was
ten years
married,
ago,
and I
same
was
here,
wilding.
bro. Like I was fam. Like we're all probably in a state to where like we look at ourselves now and be like, bro, I came a long way.
I
You
needed
know
to
what I'm
talk to
Yes.
that
saying? And like,
motherfucker
and
because
then you're
Yes.
and you're
Shit, y'all
sitting
made
there
me want to
thinking
get the
like,
jack.
yo, I can, yeah, man, if I was able to do this in 5, like, imagine what I can do, like, from this point to the for like the next 2. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So
exactly,
Correct.
that's where like having these conversations a lot of times I
are
don't think
needed.
people have enough of them, and as much as there's so much escapism, where like there's so many things that people watch, right? Like I've watched a lot of stuff. I've watched these back a few times, but you know,
So
from editing, it's rare if I can sit down and watch this all the way through again. Just excuse me, having to edit this, right? And most people think that it's not a lot of editing that needs to get done. You know, you're just doing some transitions. You're pretty much just doing long
no,
form, and you're allowing
I've
for this
noticed
stuff.
some.
And
Yeah, but
and bro,
listen,
there's like times where I'm like I I enjoy listening to it versus watching it because there's things that like I pick up on myself. Like I know I've said the word right a bunch of times like in while you all are speaking.
You know what I'm saying?
And in my
I've
head
noticed
I'm
that.
like, "Yo, why am I saying this so many times?" But it's just, you know, again, this is maybe talking about ego and there's times where I really hate watching myself on
Uh-huh.
visually. I can enjoy listening myself talk. Um and you know, even my coworkers showed me something that I don't know if anybody's watched Mad TV before, but
yes.
Phil Lamar, who plays the UPS driver, super animated. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
talk to people because my personality is just very like there's parts of my personality that are super bouncy, right? And bubbly and hey, people, what's up? I love people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's also other parts of the Shogun's personality is like I will not deal or tolerate with people because people are stupid and they don't know how to treat other people. So I am just going to be visceral to anyone that is, you see what I'm saying? It's like there are those moments. And I love to see people engage in these conversations, but they don't happen often enough, at least in
Correct.
my opinion. And maybe this is what we bring to it. But I know that we have been recording for a very long time.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was just about to say we're getting long in the
Before
tooth, ladies and
before
gentlemen.
we close out,
Yes.
I would
Let's
like to
hear it.
announce the winner of issue 1 and issue 2 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. The winner, who y'all, if you didn't get selected, which it was super easy to do, you could have had multiple entries. All you had to do was just share or like a video or share this on YouTube or follow us.
Subscribe.
You know what I'm saying? It's just super easy. Big host. The winner is Travis F. Adams. Travis, I'm gonna reach out to you and hopefully we can get this to you. I just need your info that way I can ship it. And I'll try and get this shipped out by Wednesday of next week to you. So I'll reach out to you if I hear from you. Hopefully we can do this within about 48 to 72 hours time frame. If I don't, then we will announce a second person to be able to do that. So we're going to wait and see if Travis claims this. But Travis, you have won issue 1 and issue 2 of Teenage
Shout out to you,
Turtles.
Travis. Shout out.
Yo,
Appreciate you, bro.
Travis.
Hey,
Yeah, let us know because I
reggae
like
horns.
those.
Boo, 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 boo,
I
boo.
like those
Because
two
honestly,
issues,
because
bro.
like A.Hun said, like you had to share and support us. You know what I'm saying?
But it really wasn't that
That's
hard to
great.
do.
It wasn't that hard. But yeah, Travis, good. You know, congratulations. I might catch you at the light for him. You heard?
Hey, you got to pull
on
up.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have been here for a while. This has
That was
been,
actually a good talk, though.
Yes, it was.
It was an excellent talk. I think
That was a good talk. I think that was actually
this is
probably the
more
most.
of a best talk of not having trending topics.
Yeah,
Besides
I
that,
mean, bro,
It is what it is. No, there was a trending topic, DMX.
that's
Once
what I
again,
said.
love
Besides
and
X,
lights
yeah,
in
yeah,
his-
yeah.
X.
I think that kind of overshoots precedence. Still, by the way, the
Amazing talk.
Dared Cavill or whatever the dickhead police officer.
Oh yeah, we
who
can cover that
killed-
on the next
yeah,
podcast because I want to go in
he's-
depth with that.
Yeah, and I think it's fair. I want to try and see if we can get someone that has knowledge and experience within the criminal justice system, maybe an attorney. I mean, I can only tell you so much because I've not been a CO. I've only served as someone that has worked as a activity and
And
recreational
I definitely want to
therapist.
get more in
Yeah.
background, in touch with your background with the correctional facility. You know, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
man.
correctional office, because I think that that's something also that because you have mentioned it on more than one podcast of ours or on more than one episode that and I don't want to misconstrue the fans and have them thinking like, oh, you out here like Officer Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ricky Rose.
No, not at
You know
all.
what I'm
Let
saying?
me
But
tell
like,
you.
I think
Top.
that it's something that would be great because like you come from a psychological background of that part, you know what I'm saying? And then also like your, you know what I'm saying, like your mind frame and your way of thinking is way different
Yeah.
as opposed to some people that will go ahead and just pick certain things apart and be like, yo, he was trying to portray himself to be a gangster, but now he's this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. And
That's what I'm saying.
that's a cool thing about it. I appreciate you saying that is us being able to have more conversations and doing it at other stuff. But yeah, let's get up out of here, yo. Oh, he's looking at me 10 karat crazy. If I get this Rick Ross look at me, yeah, don't fight me, bro.
Listen here, yo. I am your guy, Chief Chris. That's A.Hun The Shogun. That's OE from the block. You know what I mean?
sir.
We are the
Yes,
C.D.B. podcast. And
we all we got, baby.
We all we got, baby. You know what
we
I'm
out
saying?
here,
And
episode 6.
Episode
You
6, you heard?
heard?
And we want to thank everybody for joining us, you know what I'm saying? And continuing
Peace.
to ride with us, continuing to support us after all the slander and the bullshit that we have went through only in 6 episodes.
Man, that's
Yes,
crazy.
sir.
I mean, hey, and we always appreciate feedback. So
Yes, please comment, comment,
Listen,
like, subscribe.
Good feedback, bad feedback. I don't care.
Yep.
You giving me feedback, that means you watching. Keep watching us. You know, some people say don't watch us, watch TV. Nah, watch us. Don't watch TV.
Guys, we care because we appreciate it. It makes us better. So we can deliver a better product.
Absolutely.
1000%.
This is literally practice for us. So even though we're actually in game time and game mode, this is actual practice. We just get to do this more.
Because wait till y'all see us live.
Yeah. Oh God.
All right, we out. You giving too much sauce.
All right, Joe. Hey, we out of here.
Peace and blessings.